Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh my God, it's so hot out. I can't stand this heat. And the sunshine is in my eyes. I don't like it. Just don't like it. Sometimes I'll sit at a red light and the sun will be shining down on me. I'm so hot.
That's what your wife said.
Yeah. Well, it won't be long. It won't be long, and we're just human nature. We are human nature here. It won't be long, and we'll be complaining about the heat. Although today it'll be a little later on before we get up into the 80s. Probably 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. It'll finally reach 80 degrees. But then it kind of sticks with us overnight. It'll be in the 80s on Thursday and low 90s on Wednesday.
Oh, of course.
Before things cool off a little bit, we'll get a little rain here, rain there, but for the most part, 70s, upper 70s, better than 50s and 40s, isn't it?
It is. It's the spring we didn't have.
Davy.
So that I don't get indulged with so many phone calls, let's just make the announcement now. We are off the air on 950. We are working on it. You can catch us on 92.3 FM, and you can listen on the app and also on YouTube. So don't call up and say, oh, your radio station's off the air. We know that we're off the air. We're working on it.
Okay. The only thing I'd say to that is
nobody heard
someone, you. First of all, right, no one on the AM
Nobody
heard you
on the
say
AM
that.
just heard you say that.
And number one. Number two, if people call in, you don't be angry about it. Don't be rude to them. I'm saying that I know, but you're angry. You are. You're annoyed by it. And what I'm going to say to you is be thankful that there's someone out there to call up and say, hey, it's not on the air, right?
Agreed.
Where you're going to really be annoyed is when you're off the air and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, we got calls when you were away. Are you guys off the air or on the air when you were away last week?
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be away Thursday and Friday.
We both will.
Yeah. Man, you get so much vacation. I want cancer too. That's what I expect to hear Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, we have a lot to get to. Last night, woke up in the middle of the night because I'm like, I am going to bed. There's no way I'm staying up for a 10:10 start.
Oh.
So I go to bed and I wake up. Now, you know that I don't have Spectrum, so YouTube TV does not have Pix or SNY. So
okay.
I'm watching in bed the play-by-play that you can Google. I don't know, MLB does it or who does it. So the play-by-play, and it's like, okay, it's 0-1. Diaz is in. The Mets are now, here we are, the bottom of the ninth. I wake up for the bottom of the ninth. The Mets are leading 2-1. And the Dodgers have a runner at second. Oops, now the Dodgers have a runner at first and second. But Diaz has it down to 2 outs. Now the runners move on that last out. It was a put out. Fielder's choice. A runner moves from second to third. So they're now runner out at second base, runners on the corner. They didn't turn the double play. So now now runners on the corner. It's the bottom of the ninth inning. Mets are up 2-1. Runners at first and third. And boom, the run comes in. And it's tied up. Now, I'm sorry. I think the way that worked, the run came in and there was still one. Now you still have 2 men on, and you have only 2 outs. And Diaz. So the Diaz of old would have just collapsed at that point, given up a home run. We would have lost like 5-2. But instead, he fights back and retires the side. We go to extra innings. And now we go into the 10th inning, and the Mets, I fall asleep again. But I wake back up, and it's now the bottom of the 10th inning. The Mets are now leading, I believe, 3-2.
I think we got 4.
Maybe it's 4. 4-2.
4-2.
So now it's 4-3. And again, 2 outs. And I think they might have used 2 pitchers in there in relief. And sure enough, they retired the side. The Mets win last night in 10 innings over the Dodgers. This is not what happened in previous years. This is not a typical end of the night, especially with a team like the L.A. Dodgers.
So you're all excited again?
No, that's incorrect. Did you say I'm excited again?
Yeah.
I've always been excited.
Well, right. Yeah,
I'm not unexcited. I haven't been unexcited. I'm feeling really, really good.
Well, we did give up a run in the 10th, though.
We did. We did. But you know what? We didn't give it up to the Colorado Rockies. We gave it up to Ohtani, who hit a home run in the 9th. So, I mean, listen, it's let's see what tonight brings. But the Mets win the first of 3 in L.A. I think we got to be happy with that.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly take it.
By the way, who has the best record in the National League right now? New York Mets.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I struggle to pay attention at this time of year. I'm so busy.
No. I pretend this is September. I always pretend every month is September. That's how I look at things.
That's you've been trained as a Mets fan.
I have.
September ball starts
That's
April
right.
1st.
I have.
October ball starts May 1st.
Richard says, hi, Wednesday high, 86, not low 90s. I'm just going by what the National Weather Service is saying, Richard.
You exaggerate the weather, though.
And listen, here's the fact. If the Weather Service says 90 and it's only 86, oh, well, I'm not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about freaking time. That's all I'm going to say. He said, I said the Weather Channel app is never correct. Don't follow the app or your weather guy, Ray Stajic. I don't know, Richard. I like Ray Stajic. We like Ray Stajic around here. But Richard predicts as well. Let's see.
So can I just one thing on the weather? I've made this point before, and I've updated my little saying. You know, there's only 2 professions where you can be wrong all the time and keep your job. It's meteorology and umpiring baseball.
That's true. I guess that's probably true. Yeah.
You know, I will say this in defense of the meteorologists.
This ain't easy to predict up here.
Correct.
In our area.
Correct. And if you notice, I feel like I've had this joke with 100 people already. If you check your app 5 times throughout the day, it's changed 5 times in some way. Could get a quick shower, 30% chance here.
It does change.
Then that goes away. The high goes from 86 to 82 up to 85. So there's constantly tweaking and adjusting. So, I mean, when he says Stajic cuts the forecast in the morning at what, 5:30?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're hearing it at 3.
I think he does do an update, though. As the day goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yep. But, okay, so my point is this. When you hear the update at 6:30, or when you hear the forecast at 6:30 for what the rest of the day is,
that came in overnight.
Your app also tweaked a bit too.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times probably.
Yeah.
How about that story that we have up on our website at WIBX9? Oh, by the way, did Davey? Someone's calling right now. The AM is off. Did you know that?
But he already told them it was on.
Oh. Did you tell everybody?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry.
Very nicely, I will tell you again. I'm telling you very nicely.
Okay.
950 is off the air. We are working on it. If you
right.
would like to listen to us, listen on 92.3 FM, YouTube under Keeler live stream, and on the app.
WIBX 950 app. Okay.
Very nicely, I said that.
The engineers are working on it, if I'm correct.
Jeff, do you know anything about the Sectional 3 men's boys championships
I didn't
last
see
night?
scores. Who won? Who lost?
Unfortunately, New Hartford and Holland Patton both came up short.
Okay.
I think I think like a 13-4 and a 12-3 or something like that. I'll double check in a second. And thank you, because I wanted to mention Oriskany and Notre Dame are both playing today, not against each other.
But both for sectional titles.
Yes, Oriskany's a 4 o'clock, I think, and Notre Dame's 7, which I'd like to get out there and watch that, but it's going to depend on how my day goes here.
Davey, executive producer, if you could book Tom Hyland for tomorrow morning, work that out. They're celebrating a big anniversary that's coming up. And let's see. A friend just texted that IBX has been off the air all morning. Texting you since I figure you're signing on. He's in Booville right now. Davey. IBX is off.
He's on the phone.
IBX is off the air. Okay.
Listen, once they put that new system
Thank
in, this
you,
isn't
Karen.
going to happen anymore. Holland Patton came up short 12-3, and New Hartford lost 13-0.
That's a shame. Coming up in a little while.
Good year, though, guys.
This
Build on
story
that.
hit national news. 2 kids or 3 kids from Whitesboro, right? They were coming from their prom, and they saw somebody's house was on fire. And they got out of their vehicle and started pounding on the door and got people out of the house and probably saved the fire from spreading to the garage from the to the home from the garage. How about that?
How did it start? Do we
You
know that?
always ask questions. I believe it was there was a kerosene leak, Manaski, and a spark happened. There was a spark. That's what it was. It was a spark and a kerosene leak. I have no idea.
It used to be my job. I'm supposed to ask questions. That used to be my job.
Oh, did it start? Okay, and then we're going to speak with them coming up in a second. And then I got to tell you, my wife told me do not talk about this on the air tomorrow, and I'm going to. She doesn't get up until 7. So I have a few minutes to talk about it. It's bad. And I consider myself darn good when it comes to dealing with scams and online scams. But I'll tell you how this thing went down, and it was bad, and we've got to change credit cards and stuff today.
Did you fall for it?
I fell for it, but to be fair, I was on the receiving end of. Can you believe this is this price? Look at this. Check this out. And it's only good today until noon. I'm like, well, you better get 4 of them.
Oh my gosh! I have
explain.
an identical story.
This one is good too. We'll get into it, and I'll tell you why it's so good. It's so good. We'll get into it coming up in a second. And so much to do, so many other things to get into here this morning, including Brian Schmelz from Fox News Radio back on with a big, beautiful spending bill. I guess, Ryan, it depends. The name and the title of this depends on whether you're listening to the president or Republicans or Chuck Schumer. He has a different he has a bit of a different name for it, but this thing is plowing forward.
Yeah, beautiful bill versus big ugly bill. That's the messaging game right now. But first of all, we talk about scams. I want to give people some good consumer advice real quick.
Okay.
It is not a scam to buy a car Memorial Day weekend. Take advantage of those Memorial Day sales. They are real.
Yes.
I just got a truck about $6,000 off the MSRP because I was able to take advantage of employee pricing and Memorial Day sales. And if you see the best, if the price on the internet is a good price to you, get one of the sales associates' cell phone numbers and then text them and then ask them, hey, is this internet price what you're selling it for? And get them to say yes. Good piece of advice there.
And then you go at it. I got to say, I have family members that just purchased a brand new vehicle yesterday, as a matter of fact. And one of the other things is that a lot of dealerships are doing is get in now. We can give you a better price before the tariffs kick in, if the tariffs kick in. Everybody's all confused. They don't know, will there be or won't they be? But, hey, why not use it as a sales technique? And that does work. So what are we driving now? What beautiful new vehicle are we driving, Ryan?
I have a 2025 Ford Maverick XLT all-wheel drive hybrid.
Oh.
Which are very hard to find, apparently.
So I drive a hybrid as well, and I love it. I drive. I am able to drive to work, maybe do a couple of errands on the way home, and then back home, and I still have a quarter of a tank on my battery, if you will. That's kind of how
I've already put 400 miles in this truck, and I've yet to have to fill up yet.
Yeah,
I
love
another 150 miles I can go before I have to do that. So it's pretty impressive.
And I got to tell you, the charging has not. We've seen no increase in our electric bill. Although I did throw out the toaster. We're going to offset it. We're
coming out of the fall season, and you're somebody who heats the pool, right?
I do heat the pool. It's gonna believe me. I'll be using all the money to heat the pool this year.
Yes. So,
yeah, around here.
I'm glad Ryan called in to talk about this. You know, something I wanted to ask you, Ryan. I know this isn't the topic, but is this a Facebook scam? Did Musk just roll out a mobile home A motorhome or a mobile
I
home
don't
for
know.
under
I have
20
not
grand?
Seen that.
I think
not
he's
seen that.
selling Tesla mobile homes. Like you could go like an RV style thing for like
Yeah.
17,000. They're brand new. They're beautiful.
Wow.
They're cheaper than the Tesla cars. I don't understand that. A lot cheaper than the Tesla cars.
He's had a bad.
And Musk is going to be kind of involved in this one big beautiful bill stuff now because, the second piece of criticism that he had for it was actually through Tesla's professional account, where they've been opposing some of the rollbacks in the IRA tax credits for green energy. You know, that was a Biden/Democrat bill passed a couple years ago, but some of the tax credits are benefiting districts in red states, and they've already started projects. And so, they've been trying to negotiate a way to end those tax credits, but, not get projects canceled or just blow up the economic opportunities that have already come up. So Tesla's had some issues with some of the rollbacks to the IRA tax credits, and they've kind of pointed that out and wanted senators to, make those adjustments as they go through this process.
He has had a rough month, Elon Musk, from his company to now the stories out there about how much in terms of hallucinogenics and drugs he was allegedly taking while doing the Doge thing, and the fact that he was going to cut how much money out of the budget, and it just is a small number now in the lower billions. So, I mean, he's had a bit of a tougher, and then, his own companies are beginning to struggle. So maybe electric mobile homes are the way to go. Maybe that's a new opportunity here.
And one thing for here is one thing you want to watch for is, we're talking about this one big beautiful bill, but we're getting closer and closer to the government funding deadline.
Yes.
And, we're starting to pick up the appropriation/budget process. And, keep in mind, unlike the one big beautiful bill and reconciliation, when you actually have to fund the government and pass a government funding bill, those require 60 votes. So it's going to need help from Democrats, especially if they want to do this, the single subject spending bills, the 12 appropriations bills, and pass them out of both chambers and negotiate them. Well, they're going to have Democrats willing to negotiate. And I think there is this sense that things are extremely toxic. And a lot of it has to do with how Doge was handled and some of the programs that were cut there. So that's going to be one thing to watch is, was the damage done to the point where Democrats aren't going to be willing to play ball, and thus they just run the clock, and eventually we have to get an omnibus down the road.
Going to be very interesting to watch this back and forth here because the margin of error is extremely thin. All right, so they want to get this spending bill done by 4th of July. So we have the month that we're going to be dealing with this.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. This is going to be everything we're covering. Or no, there'll be other things too, but this is
right. It'll all come back to the big beautiful bill, or as Chuck Schumer says, the horrible, ugly bill that he says. Coming up, we'll speak with Aiden Kane. He's a junior from Whitesboro. As he and his friends saved a family that was sleeping away while their garage was on fire, which was right next to the home. It would have spread to the home. They were able to knock on and bang on the door to the point where it woke everybody up, and people got out of the house just in time. Their story not only was covered here heavily, but also made the Today Show and other network news around the country.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was pretty big. Let's do news. 637 at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The Jewish community of Oneida County is calling for calm and assures this weekend's Judica Festival will be safe. This announcement comes days after Sunday's attack in Colorado at a Jewish gathering where 8 were injured and the shooting death of 2 Israeli embassy workers in Washington, D.C. Judica organizers say they are working with local authorities, both Utica and state police, as well as security consultants to ensure the annual event stays fun and welcoming to all. Judica, now in its 4th year, is Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. The event has food trucks, music, and other opportunities to learn about the Jewish culture. Stewart's and the American Red Cross are teaming up for their annual Give a Pint, Get a Pint campaign. During June, Stewart's is giving blood donors vouchers that can be redeemed at any of the convenience store chain stores for a free pint of ice cream. The Red Cross wants to boost donations because summer months are a time of year where they typically decline. To schedule an appointment, visit redcrossblood.org. What's been rumored for months now is official. Antonio Delgado is running for New York governor. Delgado, the current lieutenant governor, announced his campaign yesterday after saying earlier this year he would not run alongside Governor Hochul in 2026. Delgado and Hochul's relationship has been strained, with the governor reportedly taking the steps of getting rid of Delgado's state capitol office and his official email. A recent poll shows Hochul ahead of Delgado among Democrats. A U.S. Department of Agriculture employee and 5 others have been arrested after allegedly misappropriating tens of millions of taxpayer dollars in food stamp funds. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, all 6 have been criminally charged with a bribe and fraud scheme. They are accused of creating over $66 million in unauthorized transactions using the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The indictment states that beginning in 2019, Michael Cahoe set up a network that supplied 160 unauthorized electronic benefit transfer cards to stores across the New York area to illegally process over $30 million in EBT transactions. Your Weather Center forecast is coming up next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Another good-looking day today, and then it looks like temperatures will start getting warmer and respond to the sunshine around. Warmest day of the week tomorrow, then rain returns for late week. Clear, still chilly this morning, sunny later 80. Tonight mainly clear upper 50s, North Country in the 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, warm 88. Rain likely Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Mostly sunny currently, 47 degrees, WIBX. And I say mostly sunny, there is still the chance that we could get some of that high Canadian wildfire smoke, which could cause some haziness later on this afternoon. I saw some pictures. Our friend Kid Chris, who works in Cincinnati, and it was just a hazy disaster there. You can't even see the sun. He said there's a glow to the sun when the sun sets. Now, because of the wildfires are coming down, and they're in the middle of the country right there, where it can be rough. So. Let me take this call. Hi, WIBX. Good morning. Yeah, go ahead.
Will you be off the air long? Do you know?
Well, you're on the air right now. I just need to tell you that legally. We're on the FM, and we're on the app, and we are on
YouTube.
YouTube. If you go and search for us on YouTube.
How do I get FM? I don't have.
Where are you located?
Waterville.
In Waterville. She's probably not going to get the FM over there. We hope to be back on the AM very, very soon.
Okay, thanks so much. Good luck.
Good luck, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. It's going to be beautiful, I think.
It is. We're going up to 80 degrees today.
Good.
This is exciting. So that's right.
Well, my God, it's been one hell of a winter, hasn't it?
Listen, it has been depressing. This has been. If they
want to be old and in the house all winter.
That is awful. I'm telling you, I'm with you 1,000%. So.
Oh, great! You have a wonderful day.
You do the same.
Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now. I'm just taking your calls, Davey. I don't care. I'll just take them. Davey, the AM is off the air. What's that?
Does Smitty know?
I said I know.
Okay, just letting you know. Quick break, and we'll come back. I got a bunch to get to. Coming up, 6:42 at WIBX.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp. And this summer, we're running a summer school. But don't worry, this one's way more fun. It's for teens and college students, 16 and up, who are home for the summer and ready to get stronger, healthier, and more confident fast. High energy workouts, a positive vibe, and the results to match. All in a fun, supportive environment. Spots are limited, so grab yours today. Summer school at Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp, where we make sweat and success go hand in hand.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
What would you do if you were driving down the road and then all of a sudden you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you see a zebra? That would be a shocker, wouldn't it? I mean, if you're in Africa, you're driving down the road and you see a zebra, you're like, oh, look, there's a zebra.
Yeah.
But if you're driving down the road in upstate New York and you see a freaking zebra, you're saying, what in the hell did I just eat?
That didn't happen, did it?
Yeah, it's true. An escaped pet zebra in Tallahassee, Florida was on camera running along a busy highway and then running into the woods. Here's a witness talking about seeing the escaped zebra. This really did happen somewhere down there in Florida.
I was shocked for sure, but also in awe, to be that close to this big animal like that. So I was definitely amazed by it and a little bit scared for it as well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That would be shocking, right?
I would be shocked by that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had a game last week, Town of Webb, Old Forge. So, and by the way, they won their first baseball game since 2018, I believe.
Wow.
So on the way home,
so they're not going to the sectionals. They're hoping to win a game.
They didn't make sectionals.
Okay.
It was a really intense, exciting game though, and they won on a walk-off. So I'm on my way home from that game, and I see 3 bear cubs crossing the roads. The guy coming the other way was flashing me, and I'm like, "Is there a cop here? Are my headlights not on? What's the deal?" And I think he was trying to let me know. And 2 of them were on the why can't I think of it? On the shoulder, and one was kind of in the lane, and they saw me coming, and they just kind of backed off and then started running back into the woods. But
the mother was somewhere.
I know. Yeah.
So don't get out of the car and all that stuff. But moose, bears, and deer, and all that crap. You see it all up there.
The worst problem I had with the animals was black flies, and you can still see the
that's
scars.
terrible. Yeah.
They're nasty up there.
In studio right now is, I want to say hello to Aiden and Morgan. Guys, good morning. Really, really tight on those microphones. You literally have to touch them.
No, you don't have to touch
them.
Well,
but pretty close. You got to be close to it.
Well, that's gross.
Good morning, Aiden.
Good morning.
And good morning, Morgan.
Good morning.
So you guys are, what class are you at Whitesboro?
I'm a junior.
Junior.
I go to Dodgeville, and I'm a senior.
Oh, you're at Dodgeville. Interesting. All right. So, okay. So you guys are on your way back from the prom. Explain what happened.
So
this, by the way, this story went viral, and you guys were all over national news with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So it was after prom. We went out to get dinner at One Jenny, and we ended up going to our friend's house, getting out of our prom clothes and just getting into like our normal streetwear. And we decided to go to another friend's house, and on the way there, we just saw a huge garage just like erupted in flames. And
that's not something you see every day.
No, definitely not.
No.
It was crazy. So we
come closer to that mic.
So you get closer, and Morgan, could you move over closer to Aiden?
Yeah.
Like you like him. Perfect. Okay, go ahead.
So we saw the garage on fire, and then we ended up driving over there, which is where you see me start recording. I originally started recording in my car, and then I hopped out, and that's when I went up to the door and walked in the house. And
oh, you walked right in?
Yeah, I went in the house, yeah. And there's 2 little girls and then a father. The girls are like screaming. I'm pretty sure they just found out what happened, so I just grabbed them and ran them across the road, and then Morgan comforted them, and my friend Donato, he's the one that called 911, and Tyler, he checked out the building that was actually like on fire right next to it.
So that was the garage, right?
Yeah, it was a separate garage, but it was right next to each other, and it did end up getting to some of the house.
You went into the house. You went into the house. That's a big deal. And because somebody might think, you wake up out of a sound sleep, they might think, let me get the bat and take care of this guy who's just come into the house. And Morgan, you saw all of this and you reacted as well.
Yeah. Well, when we were turning onto the road where our friend's house was, in the corner of my eye, I thought it was a bonfire at first, but once it really clicked in, I made sure to tell Aiden that I thought it was a house.
Yeah.
So that's when we went over, and he went in, and I made sure to comfort the children, because if I was a kid in that situation, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's good to be calm in a situation like that.
It is.
And freak out.
So some people are calm during things like this. Some people are crazy as hoot owls, like they're nuts. It sounds like you guys all reacted very calmly, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which will tell you that's how you're going to react when you get older and you have your own kids or whatever. So, right?
Yeah.
Do you know somebody that reacts crazy? I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, everybody's going nuts. It's like, just calm down. You're scaring me now. Calm down. We're going to get in that house. We're going to save everybody. Ultimately, I think I saw you guys talking on TV. You downplayed the hero thing. Talk about that just a little bit.
So everyone was calling us like national heroes, and we saved their lives. But it's like, I feel like it's different because although the garage was separate, like I didn't really put myself in any danger, I don't think, because of how far I really was from the building that was actually on fire. When I went up to the door, you could like definitely feel the heat from it, but I don't think I really put myself in that much danger.
I think you put yourself in danger walking into the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That alone is because you never know how crazy people are. And I'm not saying crazy people, but someone going through. You wake up in the middle of the night and you see a stranger in your house.
Yeah.
What's your initial response is, let me get the baseball bat.
That's why I was recording.
Yeah, that's why you're recording.
Yeah.
I also loved that. So it almost seems that today, and it's not just, people will blame it on your generation. It is not. Everybody seems to do it. The first thing you do when you see tragedy is you start taping. Mm-hmm. But the difference here is you guys did tape and you documented it, which is smart in many, many ways.
Yeah.
But you acted, and I think that is all the importance in the world right there.
Thank you for like understanding that, because we've gotten so many people like saying like, oh, of course you got to record Gen Z. And
it's not Gen Z. It's not.
It's
believe
everybody.
me.
It really is everybody.
It is. It's the first thing I do when we're going along and you see something crazy on the road is, quick, get the camera out. Get this. I could get some clicks out of this. Now I'll go help the person from the burning car.
So, but hang on a second. So Bill's question was about how you reacted to, some say you're a hero for that, right? But are you telling me some people are criticizing you guys?
Yeah, we're getting.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go ahead. So explain. Was it just online stuff, or
yeah, like in Facebook comment, like like the comment sections on the posts, like some people are saying like, well, of course that's the least they could have done, or something along the lines of like, of course they were recording, they just wanted the clicks and views.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the least you could have done was just drive by.
Exactly.
Right. You could have, look at that's cool. Somebody's house is on fire.
So
the other part is you could have just called 911.
Yeah.
And left it at that.
Yeah.
But you went further than that, and I think that's and you stepping in, Morgan, to comfort the kids is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I have a niece, nephew, and a little brother, so I definitely value that a lot.
How did the people react to you guys?
I feel like they were more shocked than anything, and of course, like,
have you heard from them since?
Well, we did hear that the mom was very thankful because she wasn't there, and grateful, but that's really all we know.
Okay, all right.
So, at a minimum, extremely brave, and you guys did put yourself in harm's way, whether you know it or not, because you don't know what could have been in that garage. Something could have exploded, but you did it, to help out someone else. So anybody criticizing you is just
stupid.
That's just absurd.
Yeah.
Really brave and awesome what you guys did, and you should be proud of that.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
definitely are.
Because there are a lot of people that just would have taped from afar and let somebody else come in and do the difficult work. So but the other part of this that let's not forget is by doing what you did, you prevented the fire from spreading to the house.
Yeah.
Because it most definitely would have. And who knows what could have happened there? Once that smoke comes in that home, you don't know it's the smoke that kills you.
Yeah.
So, okay.
One more. I got to ask
I
this.
do.
Do we know what started the fire? I asked earlier, and he chastised me.
Tell me it was a kerosene leak. And
the dad said like 5 minutes prior that he set a battery down in the garage. And within 2 minutes, the whole garage was engulfed in flames because there was propane tanks and a truck in there.
Well, that's where you store all your paint and all your stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing, these batteries, I mean, they're awesome. We have a ton of them now. And when they go up, they're very, very
What kind
hot.
of a battery?
I'm not sure.
It's probably one of those the batteries you put in like your lawnmower or in a weed whacker or something.
Oh, wow.
I don't know for a fact, but I'm just saying.
It was pouring out the sides. It was really crazy. And the fire department chief did say that if it was another 5 minutes, then the house would have been involved.
It would have been in the thing. All right.
Wow, good job.
All right. Well, congratulations. Has anybody given you guys money? That'd be awesome.
I wish.
No.
The videos on Instagram and TikTok have gotten millions of views, and I wish I got some money from it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to think. You know what? We should.
I love your honesty, man.
We
That's
should
awesome.
monetize this. Why don't we monetize this? That's very cool. And then what do you plan to do? Next year will be your senior year. What do you guys plan to do?
Well, when I grow up, I want to be a state trooper. But
Okay.
Until then, I'm probably just gonna keep working at one, Jenny.
Yeah. Good luck. My wife says men never grow up, but
I don't know. He's pretty tall. Did you see him? He can put you on his shoulders. He's up there.
Trust me, he'll do far better than me. And then Morgan, what are your plans?
Well, I'm going to attend Utica University.
Nice.
Biology.
Okay. All right. My daughter was chemistry. She was a chemistry major, so. We didn't understand her homework. I'm sure I wouldn't understand yours either. Okay, guys, congratulations. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Really, really impressive. Quick break. We'll come right back at WIBX.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands we have. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish. And now we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, and Avocado. Hurry.
With the power and power equipment, White's Farm Supply.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why we want you to know that new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
With the power and power equipment, White's Farm Supply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form.
Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
You have a second to tell that story? We only have 30 seconds. Quickly tell that story in 30 seconds.
I had a situation where a friend of mine moved away to Florida for several years. He came back and they threw like a comeback, welcome back.
You didn't know he moved, so you went to the house. Somebody else now lived there.
I walked right into the house. The door was unlocked. I walked right in. There was a woman sitting at the kitchen table. I said, "Where's Benny?" She goes, "Who?" I said, "Benny." "Who?" And I just walked past her. I thought she was an aunt or a friend of a friend.
They said at the end, had the husband been home, he would have shot you.
They said, "You're lucky Dad wasn't home. You would have got shot."
Those kids did a great job. News is coming up next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He says he'd do it again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The man accused in Sunday's Boulder, Colorado attack. Here's Acting U.S. Attorney Bishop Gruhl.
Mr. Solomon stated that he had been planning this attack for a year. And he acted because he hated what he called the Zionist group.
Accused of using a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails on a peaceful demonstration calling for Hamas to release more hostages in Gaza.
45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon is charged with a federal hate crime and multiple state charges, including 16 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Investigators say they found 4 more victims, bringing the total number of people hurt to 12. They say Solomon had more than a dozen unused Molotov cocktails. DHS say Solomon, an Egyptian national, was in the country illegally.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. 2 of the 12 injured remain hospitalized as the Trump administration cracks down on pro-Palestinian protests leading to anti-Semitism on college campuses from Columbia to Harvard. Texas's Republican legislature has approved a bill letting the state have more control over university curriculum,
which they feel has been promoting liberal ideology. The Texas law patterned after those previously passed in Florida and Ohio. Some academics are pushing back, arguing the new laws impinge on academic freedom.
Fox's Gary Baumgarten. 3 Israeli soldiers are dead battling Hamas in Gaza, where there was another attack near a food distribution site for a 3rd day in a row. This one left at least 27 people dead. Palestinian officials again blame Israeli forces. Israel counters its military fired near a few suspects who left the designated route, approached soldiers and ignored warning shots. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will finally be questioned by prosecutors at his trial.
The allegations include doing favors for a media mogul in exchange for positive coverage. Prosecutors say they'll need at least 100 sessions with the Prime Minister to complete their cross-examination. It means this drawn-out trial is likely to go on for another year or more.
Jonathan Savage, America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face. At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Our economy is booming. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social overnight, writing it's because of tariffs. This as he puts a lot of the world on the clock to avoid big tariffs on their imports.
Countries in talks with the U.S. for a new trade deal have until tomorrow to make their offers, according to letters sent to several nations currently in negotiations with the Trump administration. An official with the U.S. Trade Representative's office says productive negotiations with key partners continue at a rapid pace. Reciprocal tariffs announced by President Trump in April are on hold until July 9th to allow for trade talks. A federal court blocked the collection of those tariffs, but an appeals court last week reversed that decision, at least temporarily, as challenges from several states and business groups are heard. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Closing arguments are today at Harvey Weinstein's retrial in New York City after his convictions on rape and sexual assault charges were thrown out on appeal. The former movie producer has also been convicted of a separate rape trial in Los Angeles. At Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking federal trial, also in New York, an ex-assistant has been on the witness stand.
The defense team has tried to knock her credibility, showing jurors dozens of photos, text, and social media posts where she posed with, praised, or expressed love towards Diddy's. Defense attorney Brian Steele asking her about the post she made even after she no longer worked with the rapper, but Mia repeatedly pushed back. Her testimony could be crucial for prosecutors who accuse Diddy of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all the charges and maintains his innocence. Last week, President Donald Trump commented on the trial, saying that although no one has asked him to pardon Diddy, he is open to looking at, quote, the facts of the case. CB Cotton, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down more than 100 points for the Dow. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. 49 degrees under sunny skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. The Jewish community of Oneida County is calling for calm and assures this weekend's Judica Festival will be safe. This announcement comes days after Sunday's attack in Colorado at a Jewish gathering where 8 people were injured and the shooting death of 2 Israeli embassy workers in Washington, D.C. Judica organizers say they are working with local authorities, both Utica and state police, as well as security consultants to ensure the annual event stays fun and welcoming to all. Judica, which is now in its 4th year, is Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. The event has food trucks, music, and other opportunities to learn about the Jewish culture. Folks across the area will have one fewer place to cool down during the hot summer months. Owners of Thunder Island in Fulton says the water park will not be open for the 2025 season. No reason has been provided, but this marks the second time in less than 4 years that the park has been shuttered. It was closed during part of the summer of 2021 after its previous owner died in a tractor accident on the property. There's no word yet if the park will reopen for 2026. The governor and other groups are facing a class action lawsuit. Fired correction officers claimed that they were unlawfully terminated for using the Family and Medical Leave Act. They are asking for their job back and for financial reimbursement. This action follows months after the group went on strike for wanting safer working conditions. Central New York drivers are paying just a little bit less at the pump when it comes time to fill their vehicles. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel right now in the Utica-Rome area is $3.21. That's a penny down from what we were paying a month ago. And if you want to pay a little less for gas prices in Madison and Herkimer County, they're averaging around $3.11 a gallon. However, Oswego and Onondaga County have the best prices in Central New York, selling gas at $3.04 a gallon. The best prices in the state are in Seneca County. They're averaging, get this, $2.86 a gallon. Currently, the state average is $3.12, and nationally, it's $3.14. And an investigation continues in the search for a 15-year-old girl who went missing in the East River. The teen apparently went into the East River around lunchtime Friday near Roosevelt Island. A pair of white sneakers, a jacket, and some books were left behind by a guardrail. FDNY and NYPD divers spent part of Friday and Saturday searching for the teen below the bridge that connects Roosevelt Island to Long Island City. Drones and NYPD choppers also helped in the search in the river that's known for its strong current. Your WIBX news time is 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Another good-looking day today, and then it looks like temperatures will start getting warmer and respond to the sunshine around. Warmest day of the week tomorrow, then rain returns for late week. Clear, still chilly this morning, sunny later 80. Tonight mainly clear upper 50s, North Country in the 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, warm 88. Rain likely Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
49 degrees under sunny skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by IBEW 43 Local Sports Desk. The Syracuse Mets, they're giving fans the chance to bring their four-legged friends out for a ball game tonight. The Mets are hosting Bark in the Park at MBT Bank Stadium during their game against the Buffalo Bisons. It's at 6:35 p.m. Tickets for Canines cost just $5. Proceeds will be donated to an animal rescue group or cause. Also, the first 500 dogs in attendance will receive a clear fanny pack. Seats are still available, and you can purchase them at the box office or online. The Giants inked another member of their 2025 draft class. The G-men were able to sign third-round defensive lineman Darius Alexander to his 4-year rookie contract. He was taken with the 65th pick out of Toledo. The offseason continues to roll for the Jets. Gang Green wraps its final session of the OTAs this week. New York will return for mandatory minicamp next Tuesday. The Mets extended their winning streak to 4 games after topping the Dodgers 4-3 in 10 innings. Francisco Lindor went 2 for 5 with a solo homer and 2 RBIs. New York leads the NL East and continues its 4-game series tonight in Los Angeles. The Yankees are looking for back-to-back victories after topping the Dodgers in their series finale. The Pinstripes are hosting the Cleveland Guardians for a 3-game series beginning tonight. New York is leading the AL East. A trio of Heisman Trophy winners have been named to the ballot for the 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class. Baylor's Robert Griffin III, Alabama's Mark Ingram, and Auburn's Cam Newton have each been named to the ballot. That includes 79 players and 9 coaches from the Football Bowl subdivision and 100 players and 35 coaches from lower levels. Former Nebraska star defensive tackle Adam Okunsu has been named to the ballot along with other notable players such as Pittsburgh Aaron Donald, California's Marshawn Lynch, and Oklahoma State's Des Bryant. And fourth-round action continued on the clay courts of Roland Garros. Top-seeded Yannick Sinner and third-seeded Alexander Zverev have both clinched a spot in the quarterfinals. Elsewhere in the men's bracket, 6th-seeded Novak Djokovic is moving on, while 5th-seeded Jack Draper suffered an upset loss to Alexander Bublik. On the women's side, 2nd-seeded American Coco Gauff cruised to a win in straight sets, while 3rd-seeded American Jessica Pegula was upset by Lois Bosson. 6th-seeded Mira Andreeva and 7th-seeded American Madison Keys also locked up a spot in the quarterfinals. Your WIBX news time is 7:11. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning Radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And you'll enjoy Seattle's best coffee, Daylight Donuts. Their coffee is... There's a story about Seattle's best. It competed against Starbucks in Seattle. So Starbucks is like, we can't have this. They're outselling us, and they bought Seattle's best. So there's where the coffee comes from. And you can try their iced coffee, regular coffee, their amazing cold brew. Everything is made fresh every morning, including the donuts and the croissants. And now introducing their new breakfast sandwich, the egg white frittata made with egg white, spinach, tomato, and feta cheese. I love this sandwich. Have it on a bagel, an English muffin, or their croissants. Daylight Donuts, or you can have it without any bread at all, by the way. Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. And if home improvements on your list, like windows, siding, or a bathroom remodel, and you're wondering, how am I going to pay for it all? New York Sash makes it easy with flexible financing options. They understand that upgrading your home is a big investment, which is why they offer a range of financing programs with low monthly payments, competitive interest rates, and plans to fit your budget. You can get pre-approved quickly and easily with no impact to your credit score. They do a soft credit pull, which means you can explore your options with zero pressure. You can check them out in their Idea and Design Center in Whitesboro on Oriskany Boulevard. Go to their website, newyorksash.com, or call them and schedule an appointment at 315-624-7344. Manaski is in studio. I was going to tell you about a scam, and you say you know of a scam. Did you say that?
Yeah, I fell for one. I boomered
You fell for it.
My mother, this is how I knew I was in trouble. My mother went, "Are you stupid?"
Oh, okay. You tell me what you fell for, and I'll tell you what. And I'm not going to say my wife fell for. I'm going to say, and we're good. I keep preaching to my kids and my parents and everybody, don't click on stuff. This is how this all happens. But go ahead. What's yours?
Okay, so just a little background. We do cookouts at the house, at my house. The family comes over and stuff, and my mother has to bring. Even though I have plenty of chairs, she doesn't want anybody to be standing. Even though if we have 12 chairs and there's going to be 6 people or 9 people, she's got to bring chairs. So my mother got a deal. She bought this really cool, it's like a camp chair, but it sits on the ground and you can rock in it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And she might have got it from QVC, but I think she paid like around.
It's funny you're bringing up QVC, but keep going.
Well, that's what triggered me when you said that. It was like a $60, $70, $75 chair, okay? So I was like, wow, these are really cool. They're nice. And you could sit on my deck, and I have a nice backyard. You could see, like, wildlife and stuff. So I said, that would be really cool. We were talking about it would be really cool to have a chair like this to just sit and kind of rock and relax, maybe have a beer on the deck. So the reason I bring that up is because the next day, and this is I'm not getting conspiracy theorist on you, but I will in a little bit. It was just funny that it came up on my Facebook feed, like summer closing sale with a QVC logo. Looked like it was screenshotted right off their website or their television, their TV broadcast. So I click on it and I pay no attention to the website that pops up. And off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was not QVC.com.
By the way, our scam. Same type of thing.
Okay, so it says these exact chairs that she purchased and it brought to my house because she wanted to sit in it was now $24.99. Buy one, get one.
Limit 4.
Limit 4. Yep.
So
just to assure you that if you wanted to spend $1,000, we won't take your $1,000.
That's right.
But we'll take about 100, 150.
That's all we want. So, and it looked real though.
It looked so real. I go through the process. I make the purchase, and we get to be like 2 or 3 days later, and I mentioned to her that, Mom, you're not going to believe this, but I got these 2 chairs coming, and she's like, oh, wow, why do you spend so much on camp chairs? You always yell at me not to bring them because you got enough. Yeah. And I said, wow, it was $24.99, buy one, get one. And she looked at me, and that was when kind of the light bulb really went off. I went, Mom's not even falling for this one. You should know better, Jeff. So I checked my email. I never got it. I did get a confirmation, but I got a bogus tracking code that linked to a blank
and you
website.
Would know that.
Yes.
So ours was Sunday morning, and we're just ready to get out of bed, and my wife's like, "Oh my God, I love these Mackenzie." She's a huge Mackenzie Child fan. So, and that is the place out near Rochester, and everything's checkered, black and white checkers. Believe me, people know. Anyway, they have these planters. And they're about, 2 feet tall. You could put like outdoor plants and put them on your porch or your patio or whatever. And they are same type of thing. It's like $24.95, and it's buy one, get one, and limit 4. So this is so bad because she ends up getting, I'm like, well, you better get it before it runs out. And I said, this is on QVC? And she said, yeah. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised because Mackenzie Child is really a lot of high-end. Their stuff is valuable. And I'm like, they must be really selling out, like, they're making some money. And I said, are they metal, or because a lot of their stuff is metal or whatever? And she said, no, these are plastic. I said, oh, that must be why they're so cheap. Because it's not clicking immediately. It's not clicking for me how this could be so cheap. But I'm like, all right, limit 4. I could order 4 if you want. So,
yep.
And I didn't. She said, no, I only need 4. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll leave it alone. But all of a sudden, she's checking for tracking, looking, nothing is coming up, and then starts doing a little research, and it's called the QVC scam. They completely duplicate QVC. In fact, they even put videos in of the models or the people on QVC showing off the product.
Yeah.
But when the deal is closed, you're going to Hong Kong. And that's where it's some scam. And so today we have to, because they now have your credit card. So today we got to close out that credit card, and because you just don't know what they're going to do with your information. Be careful. So this is telling me they use other products. And boy, are they, and here's your conspiracy. I know where you're going. Are they listening to your conversations and then throwing something in there that they know you like? Like my wife loves Mackenzie Child. They came into her inbox. You just talking about these chairs comes into your inbox. So
just to be clear, it wasn't in my inbox. It was on my Facebook feed.
Oh, this was too. This was hers as well. First of all, biggest place for scams, Facebook. Biggest place for scams.
I see it all the time. I spot it now. I
Yeah,
see
you
it all
gotta
the
be
time.
careful, yeah.
You see,
This
they got new
one's
era
good,
fitted
though.
caps for $9.99.
This one was really good. And I think you're probably well versed on not falling for a scam as we are. And we fell for it.
Yeah.
So much so, I'm like, do you want me to get 4? They'll never know. I'll use my parents' address. They won't know a thing.
Bill, I've worked with you long enough to know that even when you're wrong, you love to double down.
Oh, yes. I mean, let's do it. If we're going to do this thing, let's do it for real. A couple of comments. Jeff looks extremely bored. Imagine how your listeners feel, Lance and Lee. Well, thanks, Lance. That's
Good morning,
really nice.
Lance.
Yeah. These kids deserve, this is Matt and Holland Patton, these kids deserve all the things. This is the kids from Whitesboro and Dallasville. These kids deserve all the things that girl who broke the rules is getting. Like maybe we should throw them a dance.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I'm surprised Bill hasn't mentioned
whose comment was that?
That was Matt and Holland Patton.
Matt and Holland Patton gets the comment of the day.
I think he does. I think he not Lance and Lee though.
No, good morning, Lance. I'm glad to hear from you, but his comment didn't top that one.
That Matt from Holland Patton's a swell guy.
I'm surprised Bill hasn't mentioned the cancer survivor brunch held at Roselawn yesterday, attended by hundreds. I thought Bill would have been there. Pat in Utica. I didn't know anything about it. No, I don't know anything about it. Good morning. By the way, I was doing a whole thing last night. I couldn't sleep all night long. The problem we're having is we're getting people to get tested, and Real Men Get Tested with Tim Reed. Get out there and get tested. And then I'm hearing all these stories where people, their insurance is not allowing them to have the treatment. The treatment that would save their freaking lives. We need to stop that. Everybody should. There is now medicine that will save people's lives from cancer, from deadly cancers. They will die if they don't get the medicine. They will survive if they get it. How can we turn them away?
I
As
agree.
a society, we should not. And then, good morning, gentlemen. Do student athletes get to play in after-school games on days they were absent from classes? The answer to that is no. These rules are legitimate. Unless they have a doctor's note.
Can I just say that's a fair point, but we're not talking about someone faux called in sick for the day and then showed up to their game at 4:30.
Yeah, this is somebody who left early.
Who left an hour early.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a difference. I understand your point, and that's a good point.
That's Vicky in Stouffville.
That's a good point, Vicky, but it's a little bit different.
Sure, Family Farm, these kids need all the things they're giving that girl. It's somebody else saying the same thing for breaking the rules. A lot of people saying the same thing there. So, Timothy Toolman, you're a weird one, Bill. Well, that's nice. Thank you for that. Joe Wick, nice to have you stop in, Mr. Manaski. Mr. Money Manaski.
Yeah, right.
Hold on to your $100 bills. All right, quick break.
Oh, hang on. Before we go, can I just say something? And I know this is going to upset some of the audience, but I just want to be honest. And it was a good segue because we were just talking about health and insurance and cancer and all this stuff. I have to say this. You got to call a spade. And again, the next string of comments we're going to get are going to be in defense of this.
Okay. All right.
But there is no defense for it. The RFK reports that have phony citations, real authors but not real studies, or real studies but not real authors.
It
was done by AI.
Let me tell you something.
That is so much egg on the face. That is so embarrassing for the government and Trump.
We're in a new experiment right now. It's called and I'll talk to Dr. Hall about this, let's put people who don't know what the hell they're doing in positions that they don't know anything about. And it's almost like amateur hour. We no longer trust experts. So take the person who studied for 15 years to be a doctor and a scientist and learning about viruses and fighting off immune systems and all of that. Take that person out of the job and give it to somebody who, or in education. Let's take someone. Take the education person away from education because that's not working. And let's put in somebody who, WWE experience. I mean, this is the great experiment of allowing people to control things who aren't specialists in their field. And I think we're going to regret it. RFK Jr. is the biggie. That report was ridiculous, and they're downplaying it.
I wanted to add that as well.
A freaking joke.
If I can, and I love, I'm going to say her name wrong, Carolyn Levitt?
Well, you got to give her a lot of credit. She can turn a plop of sewage into a beautiful rose. Her description of things is like,
well, listen, rightfully, in my opinion, rightfully so, there was a lot of criticism directed at some of the answers that KJP gave during the Biden administration, and for her to say, we are aware of a formatting error. And then she said, if you're a spokesperson, your job is to just candy coat everything for the administration.
I get it. And I just think this one is better than any I've seen in a long time.
I've heard so many Trump supporters, and again, I'll say it again, I did vote for Trump. I did. But say, it's nice to have somebody telling the truth from the White House, from the podium there.
I haven't heard a word of truth out of her mouth since she started. Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new. That's just my opinion. No, it's not. It's fact. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier I thought I'd throw that in there for you. The area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients as we speak. And the osteopathic approach, I'll be there today, as a matter of fact. There's a procedure that's similar to going to a chiropractor, but it's more involved. Everything from your sinuses to your body needs to be flowing just like a well-oiled machine. And when it is, you will feel better. You will handle life better. You will be healthier. And that includes back pain and neck pain and shoulder pain and alignment and all of those things. It's the Falcon Clinic. Call them today at 315-507-4751. The Falcon Clinic is located in Washington Mills. On the line right now is Dr. Kent Hall. I have a feeling that the report that came from RFK Jr., the health department, or whatever we call it today, I have a feeling that was written by AI.
Oh, there's no question.
Because
I don't think there's any question. They might have admitted it.
Literally made up sources that were not real.
Yeah, that was your characterization of it as an embarrassment to the government is spot on as far as I'm concerned. I will admit that I have been trying very hard to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I am becoming increasingly concerned to the point of being scared about what's going on with the Department of Health and Human Services. I honestly thought that the career scientists would, be able to continue doing work, and that whatever the leadership did from from an information standpoint, that the work would continue. But what's been going on is beyond what I thought would happen, and is actually making me pretty concerned.
Well, it's going to take years to recover from, years to correct and rebuild. Listen. The other part is the mixed messaging. These are things that are happening. This is not our opinion. These are mistakes that are being made, and that's the worrisome part. But when the health department can't get its messaging right, you have RFK Jr. coming out and saying we are not going to recommend the COVID vaccine for healthy individuals, and then the department comes out and recommends it for healthy individuals. There's so much mixed messaging going on and contradiction. It's really pretty scary. And I do think it's an experiment in why do we need to have an expert in a field run that field? Why not just put somebody in there that's good at managing things? Do they really need to be a scientist? I feel like this is a mistake, but we will all find out as time goes on.
Yeah, and I think the jury is still out on whether somebody actually has good management experience too, but that's a whole different thing. No, and what really is kind of gets lost in the discussion phase is we're talking about people's lives. We're talking about health of an individual who needs a certain treatment, whether it's for cancer or for an infectious disease or whatever, and they're just it's like that gets lost because they talk in bigger things. Oh, this is it was a formatting error,
right?
Whatever. Well, that formatting error may actually injure a person,
right?
And that's what's really scary.
I want to just briefly talk about one other thing that really kept me up last night, and it's and I think about what I'm going through, and I don't know, I was watching a very sad documentary, and believe it or not, if you get a chance to watch the Pee Wee Herman, there are 2 parts to it, and actually I got to tell you, I think the guy was brilliant in terms of entertainment and what he ended up accomplishing. I was never a Pee Wee Herman fan by any means, but you do use that word brilliant in this case. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But he died of acute myeloid leukemia. I have chronic myeloid leukemia. If my leukemia goes untreated, it can move to acute, or then the higher level, which is more of a stage 4, which is very difficult to treat. But I think about the medicine that I take, and then find out that 60% of the people around the world will never get this medicine because they have no means to be able to get the medicine. Isn't that just a terrible thing? I mean, we've done a great job by inventing and creating this cure. While it's not a cure, it allows you to live for the rest of your life like you didn't have cancer. Yet to find out that not just people around the world, but people even in this country end up being denied by their insurance companies, and then finally give up and say, well, I can't pay $17,000 a month for this medicine. We have to find a way to do something to correct that problem.
No, I would agree with that too, because the role of the insurance company, or the bottom line of the insurance company, is the bottom line, and that is unfortunate. The whole thing. It was, what was it, 3 years ago or so, where there was a major insurance company that basically their default mode was to deny a physician's request for a treatment to be approved for payment, and that was they basically they didn't even look at the documentation. They just said no, and then they have to go through the appeal process, and you wonder, there are multiple factors as to why medicine and healthcare in the United States is so much more expensive than in other countries.
Yeah.
And that is not the sole reason, but that is a part of the reason, is the administrative costs that are put on, physician practices and hospitals when they have to go and appeal things, when the reality is that the initial justification for it was never even looked at by a human being, or by another physician or another healthcare person, whether it's a nurse or whoever.
Yeah.
It's just the computer said no, and now you have to go back, and you have to go through, you being the physician have to go back and spend time and energy
find ways
and resources to try and get it fixed.
Yeah, to fix it or trick the system. This is, I'd like you to answer this, Steve Colenso. Scientists also have different messaging, different opinions. So which one do you believe? And I know you have a take on this, Doc.
Yeah. So doctors, doctors and scientists, have different opinions based on their own experience and based on what they're, how they're reading the literature and, things like that. But so what you have to do is you have to look at what the totality of the discussion is among learned people. So, if you get 10, doctors talking about a particular treatment for an individual, you may get some nuances in there. Oh, maybe we should do A before B. Well, maybe we should do B before A. They're not saying don't do A and B, but they may be saying, do this in a certain way, and then they'll discuss it, and they'll say, well, this is my reasoning for it. This is my reasoning for it, and the vast majority of the time, they end up coming to a similar direction forward.
Right.
Because there are always going to be, and then people, the individual patient can say, well, I don't know that I want to do that because my life circumstance is this. And then the doctor has to say, okay, well then, based on what you're saying and what your priorities are, then maybe we need to make adjustments to it. And that's okay too. But, the whole thing of, throwing out, partial information to the general public, thank you, Internet, allows people with, less experience to chime in. And unfortunately, other people that are listening don't know what their experience is. And so they say, oh, well, this person said this, so maybe that's what we should do.
And the other thing is casting doubt, where that you find a lot on Facebook with people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Just casting doubt on something because some unique thing just happened, or did it really happen? How unique is it? Is it 1 in a million or 1 in millions? Or did it even really happen? I think that stuff is what's used to go anti-vax. The other thing is the misnomer that we are in a world where life is less safe, where we're not as healthy as we used to be, where the world is much less healthy. The reality is just the opposite. Our medicines are greater today than ever before. And while there may be, one medicine causes another side effect, which you have to deal with, ultimately, not only being able to survive illnesses and diseases that used to kill humans, not only have we accomplished that, but we've found a way to be able to do it and still get quality of life. Don't look at this and say things were so much better 50, 60, 70 years ago, because the statistics are clear they were not better then.
Can I just
let them get his answer.
No, I absolutely agree with what you're saying, and let me just also say, about the vaccines. People say, well, we don't know if they're safe. Do you know how many billions of doses of vaccines have been given, across and pick a vaccine. I mean, it may not be billions for all of them, but the small number of side effects, and when they are found, they are targeted to say, why did this person have this side effect? And does this belong to a class of people that we can identify and say this vaccine's not right for this person? But the whole thing with the measles vaccine, I mean, oh my gosh, please just stop.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So
quickly,
I agree with our medicine is better than it's ever been. But I mean, I think, and Doc, I think you'll agree with me on this. Our obesity rates have skyrocketed. They're worse than they've ever been. Diabetes is higher than it's ever been. Cancer rates are up.
Diabetes
is higher than it's ever been. Our chronic illnesses, even among children, is higher than it's ever been. And in the United States, maybe I'm overstating this, but did I hear correctly that we're higher than the rest of the world? So do you agree that we're...
I'm not sure your cancer rates are higher. Cancer rates are higher than ever. I think that cancer's been around forever. It just killed people at a much earlier age. But obesity, you're absolutely right.
And chronic illness. I mean, Doc, am I wrong on that?
So I think that you're right, but I would offer a kind of an expanded view, which is that, we are seeing more chronic illnesses. But to Bill's point, the reason that we're seeing more chronic illnesses is because people used to die earlier before they actually had the opportunity to get a chronic illness.
Yeah.
And so now that we have extended the lifespan, we're seeing these longer-term illnesses that in the past people never got the chance to actually get. That being said, obesity is a different thing. Obesity is not actually about healthcare and about medicine. It's really about nutrition and the way that we eat, and the fact that, our bodies, back when we were, hunter-gatherers, we didn't know when we were going to have our next meal. And so our bodies evolved into, converting as much when we did eat, to convert as much as we could into storable energy, i.e. fat. Now we have food, in the United States and in most first world countries, we have food that's available all the time. And so our hunger, our hunger centers in our brain now become our enemies, because we're like, we need to eat food because we don't know when we're going to get our next food. Well, we're going to get it in like 3 hours. And so that's where that, and
I get that, but that's kind of, well, I just, one of the number one, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, one of the number one triggers or factors that a lot of chronic illness, and I think we saw this during COVID, that it was one of the biggest risk factors for death, is while obesity might not fall into that category, it does trigger a lot of other issues.
I'll leave it at this, but if you look around the world, this is an American problem. There are plenty of places around the world that do not have this obesity problem that we have. And, we know better, but we continue to eat garbage. So I don't know the answer. Don't eat garbage, maybe. That's the answer. Doc, we appreciate it. As always, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Hall.
John said this guy got COVID wrong. I'm not even going to get down that road, but the COVID thing happened, and we were learning in real time. There were things that were true that weren't true. We learned as time went on. And the other part about COVID today is people say, well, it's not killing people. Now we know how to deal with it. No, it is diluted. And every time it comes back in another form, it's diluted year after year after year. In the very beginning, let's not forget, it was government, not necessarily science, governments around the world, not just here, that shut us all down. And maybe we can look back at that and say that was the wrong move. Maybe it was. But in the very beginning, there were people dying of COVID, and it was really, really bad. I'm not sure how much they all got wrong. But it's great political talk. I love hearing a politician talk medicine. It's always fulfilling for me. Quick break, and Davey, we're going to do Habaika's free money question of the day. It is today worth how much money?
200 smackers.
Holy moly. $200 on the line.
What's the conversion, smackers to dollars? Is it? It's
I
1
believe
to 1?
it's even. It's 1 to 1.
Oh, there you go.
It's 1 to 1. $200. And caller number what?
Caller number 6.
Sixth caller right now at 315-736-0186. The sixth caller right now, your chance at $200 from WIBX.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts, or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
When you're looking for auto and home insurance, call the Frigo Agency in New Hartford. Why? Because they're knowledgeable. They present you with options, plus they answer the phone. You get a real person when you call the Frigo Agency. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No frustrating automated machines or recorded menu selections. Call the Frigo Agency at 315-797-8080 and discover customer service made with you in mind. The Frigo Agency on Route 12B in New Hartford, or visit them online at uticaRomeInsurance.com.
Scott and Jill here from New York Sash. You know, Scott, Father's Day has me thinking about all the ways you take care of our home, mowing the grass, keeping it safe, and of course, hiring the right home improvement company.
Choosing the right contractor is no easy job. That's why I'm proud to say that New York Sash delivers worry-free remodeling. Call us once, and you'll have our dedication every step of the way for your window, siding, bath, or door project.
I want to give our customers extra peace of mind for Father's Day with a free Ring video doorbell to anyone who comes into our Idea and Design Center to schedule their home improvement project. No purchase necessary. Just take the time to learn how we can help you improve your home.
And how about a free home security system to anyone who makes a purchase, plus 15% off.
Father's Day is coming up, whether it's for your dad or just for yourself. Give the gift of a window, siding, bath, or door upgrade and choose worry-free remodeling from New York Sash.
And we'll treat you to a video doorbell, security system, and 15% off only at New York Sash.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Hi, this is Ted Cruz. Join Ben Ferguson and me each weekend for Verdict. We take you behind the scenes for the ultimate insider show. We will bring you the latest news and commentary on everything that's going on in Washington, D.C. with the most up-to-date news and reaction. Your ultimate D.C. insider's guide. Tune in to Verdict with Ted Cruz each and every week with Ben Ferguson.
Airing Sundays at 8 a.m.
Verdict with Ted Cruz. Same time, same channel.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Steve is back. You're right, Jeff. And these are doctors who have made these incorrect decisions. Listen, when you're sitting there and you're put out and the doctor is going into your brain to fix a problem and get rid of a tumor, my guess is you might not know that doctor's good, but you damn well hope he is. Yeah. I hope he's good. Hope he knows what he's doing. Hope he's not making this up.
Well, you know, stupid joke, and I hope I get it correct. What do they call the head of the class? The head, you know, the top average. It's probably your daughter.
No, she was not. Valedictorian.
Valedictorian.
Yes.
You know what they call?
And they don't even do that in New Hartford, and she would have been top 10%, but not top. The top is quite elite.
At medical school, the doctor who graduates with the highest GPA is the valedictorian. Do you know what they call the student who graduates with the lowest GPA in that class? Doctor.
So that's what that's the joke. Well, I guess we will. And listen, by the way, I am one of the most, I ask more questions and disagree. And I'm probably a patient that is not liked by doctors in many cases because I do all my research going in, and my wife does her research, and then we go in with it. And we're like, yeah, I don't know. I think, what about this? And I think the doctors may, and that's kind of like a Google thing, right?
Yeah.
You're learning from but I'm sorry. If this, I'm not saying just take and listen when a doctor says A, B, and C, you just listen to it. Because I'm one to contest everything. If you are not your own advocate, you will be left behind in our current health system in America, I feel. So you better have someone there that's going to stand up for you.
I applaud you for being your own advocate, and I completely agree that you should. I just also think sometimes, like when someone pops up with a Facebook comment, that's them just going, well, what about this?
Oh, yeah.
I heard this. I read a Google article that said that.
It's not like the doctor says, okay, give him 5 milliliters of such and such. And I'm like, could you make it 2? Okay, I'm not going that far. I'm just saying.
We're trying to tamp down the side effects here. We want to lower the
let's
risk
make
of
it
side effects.
2. I think you've got the wrong number there. Listen, you find a doctor you can trust, but at the same time, be an advocate for yourself.
Yes.
Or for your family members. Don't let your parents go alone. Be there to be able to say, you know, what's going on here? Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's look at something alternative. Let's figure out what's causing this. And if you don't fight a little bit, squeaky wheel gets all of the WD-40, I believe, is the old saying. Maybe a little different. Here's Mike and Skyler. Hello, Mike. Good morning.
Hey,
good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good.
You ever been to the doctors and question something and they look at you like you're an idiot?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, I think it's this. Yeah, well, we don't. Okay.
Or you say it hurts when I move this. Well, don't move that.
That's right. Well, don't move that anymore. That's right. Or my favorite doctor is the one that's like, man, my arm is killing me, and he pops me in the head. He's like, now your head hurts. You've forgotten all about your arm. Here we go. Are you ready to take a shot at Hobeika's free money question of the day? The Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, 315-724-1600. For all of your legal needs, call the Hobeika Law Firm. And I'm assuming you're ready to go.
I hope so.
Okay. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. This is worth $200. Here we go.
Okay.
This Hamilton College graduate who became a physician had a local square named in his honor. Who is he? Ready? Go.
Oh, my God. I have no idea.
Last name only.
Johnson.
What'd you say?
Johnson.
You know,
the radio station was once located at Johnson Square
right
in
next
downtown Utica.
To my favorite doctor's office, Johnson Square. Square. Think of a square, a local square. This Hamilton graduate who became a doctor had a local square named in his honor.
New Hartford Town Square?
Moses Bagg. Moses, B-A-G-G, as in Bagg Square. Bagg Square.
Bagg Square. No, I didn't. I would not have got that. You know what kills me? I would have had the Franklin Roosevelt one earlier in the week, but I never called.
Let me.
It's funny because that's why I said that. You know?
All right, let me ask you this. Okay, ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
For $22.50, here we go.
What, do you owe him money? You're giving him another chance?
This is how I avoid debts. Okay, for $22.50, not really. But here's your question. This is your question. Which was the first U.S. president to use television? Ready, go. Who was it?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Ah, there you go, FDR. Boom. That was a fake contest. That wasn't real.
Don't forget next week. You know what next week is?
Next week is the WWDC?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's the one I look forward to because that's when they talk about the releases, the software changes.
Software and maybe a little hardware.
Is an Apple thing?
It's an Apple thing, yeah.
Did you ask Willie Waffle about the new Final Destination one yet?
We're going to have him, because I'm off Thursday, Friday, we're going to have him tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
So remind me
about that one.
Remind me in the morning on that one, okay? Tomorrow morning, okay?
I will do that.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. We'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's worth $25. Good at Aquavino, at Babes, at Cookies Q and Creamery. It's going to be up into the 70s and 80 today and 80s tomorrow and the next few days. Looks like we'll be in the 70s going forward. So Cookies is great. Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook. The list goes on.
I was with Angelo last evening and Gabs as well. But we went to Babes at Harbor Point and sat outside.
It was a little chilly yesterday, but
yeah,
it was nice.
Chillier than we thought it would be because we were kind of in the shade, and then there was a breeze that rolled through. But we were just so excited to see some sunshine. We were like, let's sit outside.
Let's sit outside. Yeah.
But
well, today,
Babes in Harbor Point.
Today you will be able to do that as temperatures go up into the low 80s later on this afternoon, right around 4 or 5 o'clock. On the line right now is Bob Linkskis of the American Cancer Society. The Relay for Life is coming up next weekend, and it'll be held this year in Rome at Delta Lake State Park. And on the line right now is Bob. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, talk about this. It'll be next. So this is Father's Day weekend, right?
Yeah, we're on the 14th, so we give the dads a break for Sunday.
Yeah, nice.
It runs from noon until 10 p.m., and we're at Delta Lake State Park in Rome. We've been there for a few years. They've been great hosts for us, and we bring all the relays together from the area. I mean, it's been 30 years that we've been doing Relay for Life in the area, and bringing them all together and having an amazing event to recognize survivors and remember those we've lost.
So, and that is really what why this event is so special. It not only remembers those who have passed, but there are more and more survivors every year. It seems we've done a really good job. This is something we were talking about earlier in the hour. We've done a really good job of keeping people alive and improving on their quality of life.
Yeah, the mortality rate for cancer has significantly decreased since the 90s, and now there's more survivors living than at any point in history, and we've been very fortunate to have over 150 of them, the local survivors that we've been able to recognize and celebrate at the event last year, and we're hoping to have even more this year, so that's great. And the event starts with the survivor lap, so we have all the local survivors lead us in the first lap around the track, and then we have the caregivers do the second lap. So just a way to recognize them and celebrate them and mark another year of survivorship.
So people are encouraged, local survivors and families, encouraged to register now to receive their free Cancer Survivor T-shirt by mail prior to the event. Is that still possible by mail?
I don't know if they would get it by the event necessarily at this point, but they will still get it. And we do have a free reception for the survivors afterwards. If they can still come and be honored and walk that first lap, there's a nice lunch reception for them afterwards. It doesn't cost them anything. So,
all right, this is at Delta Lake State Park. It's next Saturday. Take advantage. And I'm assuming you have the website is relayforlife.org/CNY.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And, of course, they can call anytime with questions or information. It's 1-800-227-2345.
Okay.
And they can register them right over the phone as well.
All right, Bob. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for what you do.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you again.
All right, have a great day. Quick break, and we'll come back here. Hold tight. I got a bunch to get to in the next hour, and we have a scam, another scam we're talking about. That when we're pretty good here. I think between me and Manaski, we're pretty good at catching these things.
Yeah, apparently not.
Apparently not. We can fall.
I'll take 4.
We can fall just like the best of them.
That's
hold
a
tight.
good deal.
We'll come back here at WIBX.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Do you love yard sales? Then get ready for the world's largest yard sale. Why spend your whole weekend driving from sale to sale when you can find all the treasures in one epic spot? It's the world's largest yard sale, sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, featuring over 150 vendors in one place, packed with antiques, furniture, tools, name brand clothes, kids gear, toys, collectibles, and tons more. Skip the driving, skip the guessing. Park once, Shop tons and score big deals. The world's largest yard sale is Saturday, June 14th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Bring the family, bring your friends, bring your bags, and bring your treasure hunting spirit. The world's largest yard sale at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 14th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. featuring the jazz sounds of the Dove Tones. Sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, John's Mobile Homes and Accessories, Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, and James Mitsubishi.
For a lasting impression, trust the quality and craftsmanship of Humphrey Memorials. They're experienced in all facets of memorial design, sales of monuments and mausoleums, on-site cemetery lettering, cleaning and restoration, and specialty services like etched glassware, mirrors, and landscape products. Humphrey Memorials of Herkimer has been making a lasting impression in central New York since 1946. They also handle commercial construction projects as well. Find out more at humphrey.memorials.com or call 866-4471.
Are you at the point where you are just feeling stuck with your health and fitness journey and you don't know where or how to begin? Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Bootcamp, and I can help you focus on a solution instead of the problem. At Fit Body Bootcamp in Whitesboro and Clinton, we will help you by providing fat-burning 30-minute workouts and an effective nutrition program. Your time is now. Come join us where we inspire fitness and change lives. And remember, you're just one phone call away from living your best life.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Hey, coming up next hour, we'll talk about an event that's happening this month, Judica. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll take your phone calls with comments or your blistering comments on the YouTube app or on the app. We'll get to all that. And Manaski's in studio. Coming up next hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
Two of the victims are still in a hospital. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Among the 12 injured in Sunday's Boulder, Colorado terror attack, the man accused, Mohammed Solomon, is charged with a federal hate crime and state charges.
8 of those counts are for attempted murder with intent and after deliberation, or attempted murder with extreme indifference.
Boulder County DA Michael Doherty.
According to the federal criminal complaint, Solomon said he would do it all over again and that he knew the gathering would be there because he found their schedule online.
Fox's Alicia Acuna in Boulder. Solomon says he'd been planning it for a year and tried to buy a gun but wasn't allowed to since he's not a citizen and in the U.S. illegally.
Court documents show Solomon told authorities after his arrest when he couldn't get the gun, he researched on YouTube how to make a Molotov cocktail and admitted to throwing 2 of them at the group in Boulder who were quietly gathered for a weekly show of support for the hostages in Gaza.
Now in Gaza for a third day in a row, shots were fired near a food distribution site, killing at least 27 people. Palestinian officials are blaming Israeli forces.
Israel's military acknowledges firing near a few individual suspects who left a designated route, approached its forces and ignored warning shots. The US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which operates the aid sites, says there has been no violence in or around them. Meanwhile, 3 Israeli soldiers were killed by an improvised explosive device in northern Gaza.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The day after Russia and Ukraine ceasefire talks led to just a swap of dead and wounded soldiers. Russia hit Ukraine again with a rocket attack, leaving 3 dead, many more wounded. President Trump posted on Truth Social overnight the economy is booming because of tariffs, as he puts many countries on the clock to avoid big tariffs on their imports that are currently on hold.
2 sources tell Fox the U.S. trade representative set a Wednesday deadline in a letter asking all countries in negotiations to submit their trade offers.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Surprise!
guys, your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
With a suspect in the Boulder, Colorado attack in the U.S. illegally, it's put more focus on the Trump administration arresting and deporting illegal immigrants.
Border czar Tom Homan is out with a warning, telling Fox's Hannity he fears the U.S. will suffer a major terrorist attack as a result of former President Joe Biden's border and immigration policies.
It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. This 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
So-called gotaways under the previous administration were migrants who snuck into the country under the radar of Border Patrol agents. Homan is currently overseeing President Trump's mass deportation plan. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Speaking of gotaways, 3 escaped prisoners still on the run. Derek Groves and Antoine Massey have been free since a jailbreak in New Orleans more than 2 weeks ago. 8 others have been captured there. It's day 10 of the manhunt for Grant Hardin, the former police chief turned convicted rapist and murderer who broke out of an Arkansas prison. Newark, New Jersey's airport may have fewer problems now after all the issues that led to delays and cancellations and reduced flights. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the runway's been repaired and reopened ahead of schedule.
Over the course of the next months, you're going to see improvements in this airport, in this airspace.
Also stressing the FAA quickly addressed a telecom issue, explaining fiber has been laid, but it has to be tested, and noting a total of 22 air traffic controllers are training at a Philadelphia facility that oversees Newark's airspace.
So all of those things on a rolling basis are going to come online, and as that happens, we're going to be able to expand the capacity of the airport.
Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down the day after gains to start June for the Dow and the NASDAQ. This month marks 20 years for us on Fox on your radio. Breaking news every hour, every day, and you can always get more headlines at foxnewsradio.com. I'm Dave Anthony.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. 55 degrees under mostly sunny skies, up 10 degrees from when we first signed on at 6. Talk about a nice jump in the weather. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is coming up next. New York State Police are investigating a bizarre kidnapping in the North Country. Authorities received reports of the possible kidnapping on Saturday where a victim was taken from Plattsburgh to a home in Tupper Lake and held against their will by several people. The victim was said to have been forced into an SUV, stripped, and choked unconscious. The victim was also allegedly threatened with a knife and was stabbed in the buttocks area. The victim escaped their captors as they were sleeping. 4 people were arrested, 31-year-old Jose Acosta and a 17-year-old male, both of Hartford, Connecticut, and 48-year-old David Clark of Tupper Lake. A co-conspirator, 31-year-old Kurt Ackerman of Plattsburgh, was also arrested. The investigation is ongoing. You could read more about this on WIBX950.com. U.S. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon is threatening to pull funding from New York over its ban on Native American mascots in schools. McMahon says Massapequa High School in Long Island is fighting the state mandate. McMahon says the mandate violates Title VI of federal civil rights law by banning Native American mascots and logos, but not any other racial or ethnic groups like Dutchmen or Huguenots. The mascot wears a headdress of which local natives say was typically worn by tribes out in the Midwest, not in the Northeast. McMahon says New York could face a Justice Department investigation or risk losing federal funding. Governor Kathy Hochul has launched a website about how the big, beautiful bill will impact New York if it ends up on President Donald Trump's desk. The governor focused on how the bill would damage the state's health care and claimed its passage would result in nearly 1.5 million New Yorkers losing their health care. She says there would be an added $3 billion in losses from hospitals statewide. The interactive tool breaks impacts down to even congressional districts. 38,000 people, she says, would lose access to Medicaid in the 22nd district, while over 44,000 in the 21st district would lose their insurance. The latest data breach may be one of the biggest ever in the U.S. A security researcher uncovered a massive breach that compromised more than 184 million passwords for platforms such as Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and Snapchat. The researcher says the file containing all that sensitive information was itself not password protected. Users are advised to change their passwords. And it's official, fans of Sydney Sweeney will soon have the chance to buy a unique item from her. The actress has teamed with Dr. Squatch to create a bar of soap infused with her own used bath water. This comes after a Dr. Squatch ad featuring Sweeney sitting in a bathtub went viral last year. Sweeney said she could either ignore fans asking for her bath water or turn it into a bar of Dr. Squatch soap, adding it's weird in the best way. The limited edition bars of soap will go on sale online June 6th for about $8. Your WIBX news time is 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Another good-looking day today, and then it looks like temperatures will start getting warmer and respond to the sunshine around. Warmest day of the week tomorrow, then rain returns for late week. Clear, still chilly this morning, sunny later 80. Tonight mainly clear upper 50s, North Country in the 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, warm 88. Rain likely Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
55 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Let's take a look at sports. Broadcasting from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, the Syracuse Mets are giving fans the chance to bring their four-legged friends out for a baseball game. The Mets are hosting Bark in the Park at MBT Bank Stadium during their game against the Buffalo Bisons at 6:35 p.m. Tickets for K9s cost just $5, and proceeds will be donated to an animal rescue group or cause. Also, the first 500 dogs in attendance will receive a clear fanny pack. Seats are still available and can be purchased at the box office or online. The Giants have inked another member of their 2025 draft class. The G-men were able to sign third-round defensive lineman Darius Alexander to his 4-year rookie contract. He was taken with the 65th pick out of Toledo. The offseason continues to roll for the Jets. Gang Green will wrap up its final session of OTAs this week. New York will return for mandatory minicamp next Tuesday. The Mets, they extended their winning streak to 4 games after topping the Dodgers 4-3 in 10 innings. Francisco Lindor went 2 for 5 with a solo homer and 2 RBIs. New York leads the NL East and will continue its 4-game series tonight in Los Angeles. Yankees are looking for back-to-back big victories after topping the Dodgers in their series finale. The Pinstripes are hosting the Guardians for a 3-game series beginning tonight at Yankee Stadium. New York is leading the AL East. A trio of Heisman Trophy winners have been named to the ballot for the 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class. Baylor's Robert Griffin III, Alabama's Mark Ingram, and Auburn's Cam Newton have each been named to the ballot that includes 79 players and 9 coaches from the Football Bowl subdivision and 100 players and 35 coaches from lower levels. Former Nebraska star defensive tackle Ndam Ukensu has been named to the ballot along with other notable players such as Pittsburgh's Aaron Donald, California's Marshawn Lynch, and Oklahoma State's Des Bryant. And 4th-round action continues on the clay courts. Top-seeded Yannick Sinner and 3rd-seeded Alexander Zverev have both clinched a spot in the quarterfinals. Elsewhere in the men's bracket, 6th-seeded Novak Djokovic is moving on, while 5th-seeded Jack Draper suffered an upset loss to Alexander Bublik. On the women's side, 2nd-seeded American Coco Gauff cruised to a win in straight sets, while 3rd-seeded American Jessica Pegula was upset by Lois Besson. 6th-seeded Mira Andreeva and 7th-seeded American Madison Keys also locked up a spot in the quarterfinals of the French Open. Your WIBX News Time, 8:11, 55 degrees under mostly sunny skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
So, Davey, Pegula is out, right? Yeah. Do you want to respond to that?
I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Pegula is out of the tournament. She got beat.
Yes, Jessica Pegula. Yes.
She is the Buffalo Bills' daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. And
she's out of what?
She's out of the French Open. She's the
French Open.
She won the U.S. Open.
You didn't hear all those?
I have to give Megan credit for rattling off those names. I assume she's a big tennis fan. I don't know, but I'm glad I wasn't on sports this morning. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. I'm not spitting out those names.
Okay.
So Pegula is out. I didn't mean to derail where we were going. I'm sorry.
Pegula is out, although Josh Allen and his lovely bride are now married.
Yes.
They got married.
I saw
over the weekend.
And there was quite a guest, the Buffalo Bills.
There was, yeah.
Mitch Trubinsky, Gabe Davis, the former receiver, Dawson Knox, a whole bunch of other people.
It was held in California, and I hope he says she was no distraction last year. In fact, she's very much
Sydney Sweeney.
I think she's a class act. We saw her in Dickens. She's watched that series. There's like 3 seasons, I think, in Dickens. It was really good. She has music out. She's like a pop star, and in addition to being a really talented actress, he's done well here.
Who's this, Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's woman.
So are you telling me that Josh Allen's woman is a pop star?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she has music as well.
So is there, I mean, there's an obvious comparison here, right, with Taylor What's-Her-Face.
Listen, no, here's the beauty of it.
Dad bod Travis Kelce.
She wants none of the limelight. If she comes to a game, she comes in quietly. Nobody knows she's even there.
I love it.
There's no show me. In fact, Josh Allen has said she has requested not to be on camera.
Right.
So I find that to be a very sincere.
Completely agree.
She has his back. He said she played a big role in my success this year. She was my biggest fan and supporter. I think they got to need it. Now, here's the one thing about this is, let's just talk about this for a moment.
They need to win a Super Bowl.
That's true, too. Yes, that is true. But let's talk about this for a moment, Davey. I'm not going there, but let's talk about this for a moment. Josh Allen had a girlfriend who was, what was her name? Do you remember his old girlfriend? She was his woman all through high school, all through college, all when he made his way to Buffalo and he's building his career. And then all of a sudden, Josh Allen becomes Josh Allen, and now he's just married he's leaving the old one behind, and he's going on to new territory.
His former girlfriend name was Brittany Williams.
Yeah.
Do we know? But is it like the whole Seinfeld episode where Elaine's dating a med student and he becomes a doctor and immediately breaks up with her, and he says the whole dream of becoming a doctor is finding a better partner than the one you have currently. Is that what we're saying? Once you become an NFL,
becoming a quarterback in the NFL,
or was there something more to it? Did she break up with him? Was there some infidelity?
Was it the type of thing where you're around all those women now and you're what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you really where you say you are? I mean, was it that type of thing, or did she just get left in the dust? And my guess is she's not as happy about this wedding as everybody else is.
The ex?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
She's probably sending in RSVPs of other people. Like, how come she's trying to sabotage the whole thing. I don't know. Anyway, you do feel bad that he's become this new legendary celebrity, Hall of Fame bound, who knows, MVP, and no longer does he want the old girlfriend. Revive soft wave therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. If you're having neck pain or back pain, and we talk about quarterbacks like Josh Allen, this technology is used in the locker room. This technology is used on professional athletes, from the Bills to the Giants and the Nets and the Lakers, the Cubs, the Yankees and the Mets, and I mean they all use it. In fact, some of these athletes have their own soft wave therapy in their, maybe they have a little workout room in their house, in their mansions. They have their own system. They utilize it. This is Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. It does treat neck and back and knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder pain, and there's a $99 new patient special going on right now. Try it. I think you'll be shockingly surprised with what this does. This is no longer just for the elite athletes of the world. It's for everybody. 315-725-8427 is the number. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
When you're looking for auto and home insurance, call the Frigo Agency in New Hartford. Why? Because they're knowledgeable. They present you with options, plus they answer the phone. You get a real person when you call the Frigo Agency. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No frustrating automated machines or recorded menu selections. Call the Frigo Agency at 315-797-8080 and discover customer service made with you in mind. The Frigo Agency on Route 12B in New Hartford, or visit them online at uticaroameinsurance.com.
Do you love yard sales? Then get ready for the world's largest yard sale. Why spend your whole weekend driving from sale to sale when you can find all the treasures in one epic spot? It's the world's largest yard sale, sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, featuring over 150 vendors in one place, packed with antiques, furniture, tools, name brand clothes, kids gear, toys, collectibles, and tons more. Skip the driving, skip the guessing. Park once, shop tons, and score big deals. The world's largest yard sale is Saturday, June 14th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Bring the family, bring your friends, bring your bags, and bring your treasure hunting spirit. The world's largest yard sale at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 14th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. featuring the jazz sounds of the Dove Tones. Sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, John's Mobile Homes and Accessories, Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, and James Mitsubishi.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Stop putting off registering for the 2025 Boilermaker Road Race because it's almost sold out. People are sprinting to Boilermaker.com to grab their racing bibs before they're gone. Reserve your spot at the starting line now and punch your ticket to the world's best post-race party, where there will be live music, drinks, food, and plenty of surprises. This year's Boilermaker will be bigger and better than ever, but the window to sign up is closing. So run, don't walk, to Boilermaker.com and sign up for one of America's most famous races. See you at the starting line, July 13th.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I was working all day and I'm playing all night. I got drunk last night and got under a fired. My wife said, "Get out of the house, you stinking piece of garbage." This is getting too personal. This is getting too personal. I got to stop.
It's not your father-in-law's band, is it?
I believe it is. Rochester, New York. Apparently, there's the World Video Game Hall of Fame in Rochester. There's the Toy Hall of Fame there, and the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Did you know this?
I've not. No, I hadn't heard of it, and I'm curious to know. So, for instance, you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and there's a bust of the player, and you get to read about him and learn about the player. But is it like you get to go in, and I'm not familiar with this at all, but let's say there's a version of John Madden football.
Yes.
Do you get to play the game when you go in there, or is it just the cartridge is on display? That's the bust?
Well, there's a bust like of Wee Willie Mario. And
is that right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Interesting. I wonder how it is. Too bad there's not an expert or someone we could talk to about
Well,
it.
there might just be. Let's see if I can get a hold of him. John Paul Dyson is with the World Video Game Hall of Fame. He's on the line right now. Good morning, John Paul.
Good morning.
Are you from the Dyson family that makes the vacuum cleaners?
Of course, every time you buy a vacuum cleaner, we get a little bit of the money.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Which is why you own a Video Game Hall of Fame. Yeah, beautiful. So this is kind of cool. The Toy Hall of Fame is in Rochester, and of course the Strong National Museum is if you're in this area and you've not traveled there to enjoy a day there, it is just a spectacular facility, right?
It is. It's an amazing place. The Strong National Museum of Play has the world's biggest collection of playthings. That's toys, dolls, games, jigsaw puzzles, and video games. And we have the world's biggest collection of video games, which is why we have the World Video Game Hall of Fame. It's an amazing place. You can just have a lot of fun here.
Yeah. So what do you who gets inducted this year? What are we looking at?
So there are 4 games. One is a classic arcade game called Defender from 1981. Those of you who are old enough may know that. And then we have 3 games from the sort of mid to late 1990s. GoldenEye 007, Quake, and Tamagotchi.
All right. Do you play any of these?
I'm not familiar with Tamagotchi. I've heard of, but
I'm amazed.
All I know about video games today, I told you this during the break. My son is into Fortnite big time. He loves it, and so I sometimes play with him. But other than that, I'm not a gamer.
Are there any? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say in both games, both GoldenEye and Quake are sort of like forerunners of Fortnite. They're shooters where you're playing with other people, and you're especially Quake, especially that was really the game that brought online gaming to a mass audience.
Yeah.
And GoldenEye 007 was for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
So what is in there currently? Because these video games, you go back to the one. Remember the hockey game, the handheld hockey game in the 70s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we have Mattel Football.
Okay.
Is in the World Video Game Hall of Fame. That was a football game.
Yeah.
That's cool. And we induct games every year, and actually Mattel Football is not, and it's been nominated. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
It was we induct games based on 4 criteria. So influence, is the game important? Longevity, icon status, and geographical reach. So is it played across different borders, across countries, that sort of thing. And so when the first class was inducted in 2015, it had games like Doom, for instance, which is an earlier version of Quake. Super Mario Brothers, everyone knows Super Mario Brothers. Pac-Man, Pong, Tetris, World of Warcraft. So that was the first class.
Okay.
It's really try to get games that are important, that stand the test of time. You get games that are sort of one-offs. They sort of are popular for a moment, and then they're like, no, I don't know. Like this year, Frogger was up for the Hall of Fame. Didn't make it, but it was nominated. If you've seen the Seinfeld skit.
Yes.
You remember that.
Is Pong the one where you played, it was almost like playing tennis on the old Ataris?
Right,
Yeah.
yep. And that was the game that really first brought video games to, sort of national, international.
Can I ask you a real honest question? I used to love playing that, and I think I was pretty good. It would get to the point where the ball was going pretty boop boop boop.
Yeah, faster and faster, right? Yeah.
And then you could do the hard level, and it would make the paddle much thinner, and the ball would go flying around. Like I really think you'd have to be superhuman. Was there anyone who could actually operate the game at that high level, or?
With every game, there is someone who just gets so incredible at it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just a guy who just beat Tetris, for instance. And so
wait, he beat Tetris, or he beat the old record or high score?
There's I can't remember when you turn over the score somehow. It had never been done before, just in the last year or something. And and so every game you get these people who are like savants. They just play it so much, or they're just so naturally good. It's like someone who can solve a Rubik's Cube in 3 seconds or something like that. So I never reached any of that level with any games.
You know what I like about Rubik's Cube is when you get frustrated with the game, you could always take a knife and take the stickers off and move it all around, and then you've solved the puzzle.
Or pop the cubes out.
Or pop out the cubes. That was good too. I mean, that to me, show. You may not be the smart one, but you're the creative one. You figured out how to make it look like you beat the game. But video games, you got to know what you're doing. You really kind of have to know what you're doing.
Yes and no. I mean, cheats have long been a thing in video games. There's cheat codes that the programmers put in. Or you get stuck in a level now. You used to go back and you get a book, be like how to beat whatever game.
Right.
Now you go online and just look up how do I beat this level here. So, cheating is a universal phenomenon. We want to do it in everything.
Right. You're right.
Did you say GoldenEye is going in?
Yep, GoldenEye 007.
Okay,
so James Bond.
Yes, so that one I actually am familiar with. Somehow I missed it when you first said it, but on the N64, now there's something to note here because I mentioned Fortnite. First of all, the grenade launcher was the best weapon because you could play team mode or group mode, basically. You could have 4 players, so it'd be like an every man for himself, and you could ricochet the grenade launcher off the wall. So if you're trying to get somebody who was like down the hall in a room, you could angle it. Similar to Pong, you needed to know the angle, and you could ricochet it off a wall and into a room. And that was one of the greatest games of all time.
Pong, sometimes you could come up and hit it on the side of the paddle and knock it for a loop. The other one that I loved was the tank game. What was that? What was that called?
I don't know.
You're talking about Combat on the Atari 2600.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was originally a tank arcade game, and that was the same thing, the same ricocheting as you're talking about. GoldenEye 007 for the N64, and again, there's always that strategy of how do you do that? How do you make the game work for you in a way that outfoxes your opponent. So that's always key.
So, and real quick on this, I'm not going to describe it properly, but I think you can shed some light here. When you talk about the N64 and specifically that Bond game, GoldenEye, your aim, your control versus I mentioned Fortnite and whether it's Xbox or PS5 nowadays, I believe the trigger is inverted. And I don't fully know what that means, but I know when I was younger, I'd play video games. But for instance, we pulled out the old N64. My brother had it. So he's a gamer. My son loves Fortnite, and my other buddy is a bit of a gamer. So the 4 of us were playing, and I destroyed them because they're used to playing with today's trigger controls. And I'm still in the old mode, and they would try to shoot up and they would shoot down. They try to shoot left, they shoot right.
Even Madden football was so good on 64, if you remember.
Yes.
It was the best. But it was it was also the strategies were completely different. I'll tell you how things have changed, if I can, John Paul. I remember my parents got us our first Atari, and that was back in the 70s. And we were outside playing football, and my mother yelled, "I get you this video game, and you guys are outside playing football. Give me a break." I mean, look at how the world has changed.
Yeah, your mother might have been the last person to say that.
What a waste. What a waste.
It's like there's the Far Side cartoon, if you remember that. But there's one that where the parents are looking at their son playing the video games, and they have all these thoughts like, maybe I'll go up, Super Mario Brothers player one and pay $130,000 a year and all these sort of dreams.
Yeah.
And of course, now you have esports where players are making that.
They're making that money. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Video games are very generational too often. You grew up with a certain, especially that age. I missed a lot of that Nintendo era because, frankly, we're having kids and we didn't have that chance. And so, like the N64 with GoldenEye I didn't play it till recently.
Yeah.
You're talking about the inverted controller. I am playing with some of my colleagues, and they all grew up playing it, and they were just totally roasting me because I was having a hard time with that.
So. Yeah, you know the. Anyway, really cool stuff. So it's at, and there's so much.
And do you get to play the game at the museum? Is that part of the experience?
So when at the World Video Game Hall of Fame, you can play some of the games. And, some games in the World Video Game Hall of Fame aren't really. No one's going to sit there and play a World of Warcraft game for 5 hours. But the museum, as you said, it's a fabulous place. We have
really is
a ton of interactives. We have just incredible artifacts you can see nowhere else. You can spend multiple days at the museum, and whether you love video games or toys or board games, anything to do. It's just fun for all ages.
We were there probably 25 years ago, and my kids were little, and I can only imagine how much the place has improved.
We did a big expansion in 2006, and then we just did one in 2023 that really leaned in heavily into the video game stuff. So It's a fabulous place, about 400,000 square feet. So you can think how massive that is. So.
Listen, it's just down the highway in Rochester. Check it out. And John Paul Dyson, thank you for what you do and your vacuum cleaner, too.
Glad.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay, take care.
Have a great day. John Paul Dyson with the Video Game Hall of Fame. Pretty darn cool, right? Pretty cool.
It is cool.
By the way, cruise into Two Cousins Pinball. Speaking of these video games and the pinball, right down the street here is the pinball, Two Cousins Pinball, 9360 River Road in Marcy. The pinball hall is open 5:30 to 9:30. And I'm talking about Wednesday nights. They're doing a car cruising down there from 5 until 8. Davey, you are you're a regular over there. You love playing the pinball, and they have like 50 pinball machines, some of them worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, so I usually go on Saturdays, but I ended up going on Thursday this past week. They have a league on Thursday, so we weren't able to play 3 games. But they got all games. I like the Munsters and AC/DC, but they got some old. They got this old NHL pinball machine. I played that. It's awesome.
Okay.
And then I played the video games for like a half hour. They got over 40 video games on the, like Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dog.
That's cool. It's really neat.
It's an awesome place. I love it.
Do you remember
you're a treat.
Do you remember the handheld hockey game?
Why? What do you mean by that?
It's a good thing. No. I appreciated you're excited. I could tell you were excited and that you actually do like those games, just in the way you said it.
Do you remember the handheld game in the 70s that was hockey?
I remember.
If you scored, it went.
I remember.
It was a video game.
Yeah, it was before Game Boy, and it was a handheld, and I think there was football and there was hockey. It was really pretty cool.
I remember the handheld video games, the Midway games. My dad's parents bought one for my sister and I. I had Pac-Man. We had to put the big D batteries in the back of it. Boy, I love that. I remember Blades of Steel on a Nintendo, but I'm not
big with that.
No.
Okay. Listen, River Hills Properties is continuing to grow. And they're offering you a great opportunity. It's very incredible to be able to say, I'm interested in the Sarasota market. I'm Gulf Coast of Florida. And we're going to do the snowbird thing. We're going to be up here and down there. Great place for all the grandkids to come and for family to go and hang out. River Hills Properties now has an office on the Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, including Naples and Marco Island. They completely have you covered. And be able to reach out here and speak with someone you know and have Robin take you to some just unbelievable places down there. And then assist you in maybe downsizing up here. There's so much that can be done because River Hills now has offices, Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, in Newport, to the North Country, in Copenhagen, and all the way to the south in the beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida. Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, River Hills has you covered. And it's all the same service. That extra service, full service, they have you. They're working for you from the very start to the very end. And nobody sells homes like River Hills. Call them today. 315-896-1009.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440. And they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands we have. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish. And now we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, and Avocado. Hurry.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Stanley Center of the Arts. The Jewish community of Oneida County is calling for calm and assures this weekend's Judica Festival will be safe for everyone. This announcement comes days after Sunday's attack in Colorado at a Jewish gathering where 8 were injured and the shooting death of 2 Israeli embassy workers in Washington, D.C. Judica organizers say they are working with local authorities, both Utica and state police, as well as security consultants to ensure the annual event stays fun and welcoming to all. Judica, which is now in its 4th year, is this Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. The event has food trucks, music, and other opportunities to learn about the Jewish culture. An 8th corrections officer at Marcy Correctional Facility has resigned after the beating death of an inmate. Nicholas Gentile stepped down from his position as part of a plea agreement he reached with prosecutors. He admitted with tampering with evidence in the case of Robert Brooks, who was brutally assaulted by corrections officers last year and died of his injuries. Gentile won't be spending any time behind bars. Central New York drivers are paying just a little bit less at the pump when it comes time to fill their vehicles. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel right now in the Utica-Rome area is $3.21. That's a penny down from what motorists were paying at this time a month ago. But if you want to pay a little less for gas, prices in Madison and Herkimer County are averaging around $3.11 a gallon. However, Oswego and Onondaga County have the best prices in central New York, selling gas at $3.04 a gallon. The best prices in the state are in Seneca County, which is averaging $2.86 a gallon. Currently, the state average is $3.12 a gallon, and nationally, it's $3.14. And new research has found that blood and urine tests can trace how much ultra-processed foods a person eats. The National Institutes of Health says researchers collected data from 718 older adults who gave urine and blood samples and reported their diet for a year. Scientists used machine learning to locate hundreds of metabolites, molecules made during metabolism related with the intake of processed food. Ultra-processed foods are defined by the NIH as ready-to-eat or ready-to-heat, industrially manufactured products high in calories and low in essential nutrients. Chronic diseases, obesity, and several forms of cancer have been tied to diets heavy in ultra-processed foods. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Another good-looking day today, and then it looks like temperatures will start getting warmer and respond to the sunshine around. Warmest day of the week tomorrow, then rain returns for late week. Clear, still chilly this morning, sunny later 80. Tonight mainly clear upper 50s, North Country in the 40s. Wednesday, sunshine, warm 88. Rain likely Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we are warming up. It's 57 and sunny right now at WIBX. Manaski with some comments here. We have a ton. By the way, the AM station, our AM transmitter is down. We are on FM, we're on the app, and we are on YouTube Live. You could watch on YouTube here this morning.
Absolutely.
Well.
And if you're listening to us on AM, you didn't hear anything Bill just said or me right now.
That is true.
Bill Morehouse commenting on the Josh Allen situation. He says, as far as Josh Allen goes, he was in a relationship with Brittany. And a relationship is two people being together waiting for something better to come along.
Okay.
Bill.
Okay.
Wow. I want to mention here as well, Kevin in Utica messaged me. As a reminder, he messaged on April 17th, and he said, we were talking something, I was in here, we were talking something about Hochul maybe approval ratings or who was going to run for governor. Maybe it was we were talking about Stefanik wanting to run. Well, I don't know. Is she running?
I don't think so.
Here's what
it's still up in
Kevin
the air.
said on April 17th, about 6 weeks ago. Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado will run against Hochul. There's no love lost between the two. He's very electable, Colgate grad, strong farming upstate, and Democratic ties. He will force a primary run anyhow. And I believe that was that in the news?
Well, that is. I think everybody anticipated that to happen.
Okay.
I
wanted to give Kevin kudos for that. You don't.
He's
That's
referencing.
fine.
No, I thank you, Kevin. But if he's referencing what I had said, I don't think he can. I don't think Delgado can beat Hochul. As unpopular as Hochul seems, she has whether you like it or not, she has that bully pulpit, and I don't think a Republican can beat a Democrat in New York right now. Because of the huge Democratic majority they have in New York City. Now, a lot can happen between now and then. We'll see.
In New York City,
I'm not surprised. They do not like each other, apparently.
Seem to have, it's almost like an addiction. Like if you give them 3, 5, 10, or 20 politicians, they want the worst one, right? They always want the worst one. I have one more comment here, and this comes from Steve. Actually, this is Steve Hauk, former UPD PIO. I'm sorry, Steve, I've lost it here. Whereas I was supposed to mention this, we were talking about the alleyway in downtown Utica, which gets all that attention.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The issue was the tagging of the walls, right? And we played, I think you played some of the audio from Katie Aiello. Steve said, why don't they just use the anti-graffiti paint and you can keep that from ever happening again? And apparently there's an anti-graffiti
I didn't know
paint.
they had such a thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that either. So it's paint that you can't paint on?
I did not know that.
Is it going to have to be the same color forever? Like we couldn't
spray
repaint
paint
it
is
then.
really what the graffiti artists use, is
Right.
spray paint. So I don't know.
Is there something in it that repels spray paint and knows the difference?
I don't know. Maybe it spurts paint right in your face. Like if you steal one of those, you steal a shirt from a they don't take the security thing off.
The ink explodes?
The ink explodes in your face. Supposedly, I've never seen it happen, though. Steve Calenzo on YouTube. She, referring to the Bills, Josh Allen's now wife, she's not a Bills fan. And he says, my daughter is the controller at St. John Fisher, where the Bills do their training. Oh, that's cool. Her family have met all the players, hoping to get out there this year to meet Josh Allen. That's really cool. Steve, you can take us with you. Davey's ready to ride. He'll ride in your trunk.
Davey already started the car up.
He's ready to go. And then I had a couple more I wanted to squeeze in if you care, and maybe I don't. Okay, Rocky in Utica. I have a friend who's obese, diabetic, and in ill health. When Bloomberg set a tax on jumbo sugar sodas, he was incensed over it. Yeah, I just think there are a lot of people that have fallen into that trap of, eating a lot of junk.
Did that happen, or was that threatened to happen?
I forgot. There was a big controversy over it, if you remember. When
Sugar
he was running
tax,
for president. Easy and Ilian. Our food is worse. We don't exercise. We don't do outdoor activities. We are fast food lazy. I believe there are people that are like that
And I'm
out there.
guilty of this. I'm so guilty
Christine,
of it.
good morning. There's an issue this morning with the broadcast on WIBX. I can't hear you on the radio. Davey, do you want to respond to that? Anything you want to add?
Take a deep breath first.
Our engineer is currently working on it. You can hear us on 92.3 FM, Keeler live stream on YouTube, and the WIBX app.
That's why he's the executive producer.
Thank you, Davey. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about Judica. And I almost feel that this year's event has more, by the way, I wouldn't even say it. Like somebody put it in front of me, a copy, and I'm like, I can't read that. I'm not reading that. Is that some?
Yeah.
Is that a slur against the Jewish people in this community? No, it's a real event, and we now know that. And it's a big event, by the way. But I think this year, with everything going on, it's more important this year than ever. We're going to speak to Joel Silberlich from the Judica Festival coming up in a second. People of all ages can experience any level of discomfort in the knees, the hips, and the back that stem from foot issues. At the Good Feet store, your pain in your feet could very well cause back issues or shoulder pain. It can go right up your body, right to your neck, for God's sakes. And the people at the Good Feet store are all about quality of life, and the goal is pain-free. You can try out a free, no-obligation, personalized fitting, which is a test walk. There's not an appointment needed. Everything is made in the USA with a lifetime warranty. It's a 3-step system, which includes inserts in your shoes, strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. You're exercising, you're working, you're changing the way you walk, you're fixing your step, all by just walking, and you don't even know you're exercising. Reach out to the Good Feet store today, 315-999-3910, or just walk in. You don't need an appointment. The Good Feet store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Adirondack Home Furniture in Utica. Now is the perfect time to refresh your space with their incredible spring sale. Discover a beautiful selection of high-quality, USA-made furniture that brings together timeless style and lasting durability. Whether you're updating a single room or reimagining your entire home, Adirondack Home Furniture has just what you need, with unbeatable prices that won't stretch your budget. Looking to elevate your outdoor living? Don't miss their best prices of the season on indoor and outdoor furniture. Perfect pieces for spring and summer lounging. Take advantage of flexible financing options to make your dream home more affordable than ever, and enjoy free local delivery on every purchase. Shop at your own pace in a low-pressure atmosphere with help from experienced interior designers who are ready to bring your vision to life. Visit Adirondack Home Furniture at Riverside Center, Utica, or online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Adirondack Home Furniture. Create the home and the patio you've always dreamed of.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp. And this summer, we're running a summer school. But don't worry, this one's way more fun. It's for teens and college students 16 and up who are home for the summer and ready to get stronger, healthier, and more confident fast. High energy workouts, a positive vibe, and the results to match. All in a fun, supportive environment. Spots are limited, so grab yours today. Summer school at Whitesboro and Clinton Fit Body Boot Camp, where we make sweat and success go hand in hand.
If you're about to replace your roof, stop. There's a solution about 80% less expensive. 9 out of 10 roofs can be saved by RoofMax. Guaranteed to extend the life of your current roof by 5 to 15 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. RoofMax's deep penetrating power restores flexibility and water protection. Nobody wants to replace their roof. Restore it instead with RoofMax.
Call 1-855-RoofMax for a free roof inspection.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186 or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
This is Keeler in the Morning, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
I don't know if you've been paying any attention, Jeff, but do you know that one of the Manson family members lives right around here?
Yeah,
in our
I was
area.
aware of that, yes.
It's Squeaky Fromm lives right here. In fact, somebody I spoke to recently said they work out with her, and she's a really nice woman. Once you get rid of that Manson guy, everything changes. But around him, they were manipulated. Nonetheless, they work out together. And he said she's a really nice woman. And now her boyfriend is tough, so don't go knocking on their door because he'll kill you. Manson family murderer. This is new. This is
I would
brand
imagine
new.
if you were like bench pressing, all due respect, I'd find somebody else to spot me.
Maybe.
Just having that heavy bar above
maybe.
my neck would make me think twice.
Maybe. Manson family murderer, and I wonder if there'll be, she'll come up for a barbecue. Manson family murderer, Patricia Krenwinkel, if you remember, Patricia Krenwinkel is getting paroled. She is the longest-serving woman in California prisons She served 55 years. She killed 7 people as part of the Manson murders. She is now 77. She is being paroled. Here she is in a 2015 New York Times documentary talking about her days with Charles Manson.
The thing I try to remember sometimes is that what I am today is not what I was at 19. And I can only tell you, I have been with something that started only as one woman with one man that turned into one of the most disastrous, most horrendous, most abominable situations that could possibly come out of it. I guess when I start thinking of myself, mostly the word that comes to mind is what a coward that I found myself to be, and what I allowed myself and where I allowed myself to go.
She finished that statement by saying, make sure the parole board sees this, okay? If you would, make sure they watch it carefully.
She sounds extremely remorseful and
that was 10 years ago. By the way, she's the one that scrawled "Helter Skelter" on the wall in her victim's blood back then. Yeah. So anyway, well, maybe she'll come up and see Squeaky. You never know. But that was a long, long time ago.
55 years she served. No, 55 years.
55 years. Longest woman to ever serve time, the longest sentence for any woman in the California prison system. She today is 77 years old. In studio right now is Joe Silberlich. He is the festival director at Judica, and he's with us right now. Good morning. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here and thrilled to come right after the Manson
Yes,
family.
right after the Manson thing. Jeff, could you move that mic down? And then if you are really tight on that mic, you literally almost have to be touching it. My apologies and then this one here is blocking us. Oh, gotcha. See, yeah. There we go. A little housekeeping, and we're good to go. Let's talk about this year's festival, Judica.
Okay.
I think it's more important this year than in a long time.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a time when Jews around the country are somewhat nervous because of the events that's happened over the last few weeks in 3 different places around the country. But we're quite confident that the people of Utica are going to embrace this rather than attack it.
What do you? We don't even want to talk about that. This is coming up, by the way, this Sunday on the 8th.
Correct.
This Sunday. Where is it being held? How can people take advantage and all of that?
Sure. It's at the Jewish Community Center at 2310 Oneida Street.
Okay.
We run from noon until 6. And if people really want to enjoy it, what we recommend is if you don't live within walking distance, there's not very much parking available on site. We do have a free shuttle that's running from Temple Emmanuel, which is on Genesee Street, right at the corner of Genesee Street and Higbee Road.
Yep.
Free
That'll
shuttle.
bring you right up.
Free shuttle all day long.
Nice.
Bring you up to the festival site and take you back.
I am a big fan of Jewish food. So what will you be serving?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah. It's not easy up here. There's not a lot of kosher up
There's not a lot of kosher up here, but we are emphasizing the availability of kosher food at this festival this year. So the kosher menu is going to include falafel from Chabad of Clinton, and then from our folks affiliated with the festival, we're going to be serving pastrami sandwiches, kosher pastrami sandwiches, kosher potato latkes, kosher hot dogs, and all the fixings go along with that as well.
You look like you have a question.
I think I'm going to go just to try the pastrami sandwich. To be honest with you.
So the kosher pastrami is coming in from Rochester, and I'm told that it's fabulous.
Okay, nice. And talk about kosher. For those who don't know, what is kosher and why it's not kosher to walk into a Jewish deli in New York City and ask for a pastrami on rye with cheese?
So the simple answer is kosher is a set of dietary laws that observant Jews follow. Yeah. And the primary one is that you don't mix milk and meat, coming from a stricture against boiling a calf in its mother's milk, essentially.
I see. Okay.
But there are additional rules that go along with that in terms of how animals are slaughtered, in terms of how food is prepared, and essentially making sure that meat and dairy never touch.
Yeah.
But that's a very strict observance.
And tough to, if you're Jewish, tough to do in this area right now. There's just not a lot of opportunity for kosher foods.
Well, I think the people who follow kosher know where to find it, and they'll bring stuff in from Rochester, from Albany. Price Chopper is very good about helping people find what they want, but it's definitely a I don't want to say it's a chore, but it's more work than just going to the grocery store.
Yeah. Okay, so people who want to show up, it's this Sunday, and obviously you talked about the getting the shuttle and coming in, but it's really just a great celebration of Jewish culture.
It is, and we're focused. We just talked about what kind of food we're serving, but one of the highlights is we have a guest chef each year coming in, and our guest chef this year is Micah Siva, and she just wrote this book called Nosh, which is about plant-forward Jewish food. Jewish food traditionally, particularly the stuff that's traditional from Eastern Europe, is not necessarily all that healthy given the use of chicken fat and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, this is healthy Jewish food with the taste and the look of what is traditional, but way better for you. And she'll be demonstrating a couple of dishes, and people will be able to taste that. That's happening in the, I think it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And we've brought in, this is the fourth year now that we've brought in Jewish chefs who have new cookbooks out.
That's awesome.
And that's really exciting.
Yeah.
The other thing that's happening all day long is music. And our highlighted band this year is called Boychik from Syracuse.
Almost out of time. I hate to do this, but the website they can go to get all of these details.
Judica.com. Yep.
We wish you the best and hope it's awesome. I think the weather's going to be on your side this time.
We're counting on it.
Looking good.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Joe. We appreciate it. Kilmeade is coming up next here, top of the hour on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He says the economy is booming. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And President Trump posted on Truth Social overnight it's because of the tariffs that have so far survived a legal challenge with a ruling blocking them on appeal. Blocked. Now, those tariffs have led a lot of countries to negotiate.
White House officials are putting out the word to their counterparts around the world. If you want to make a trade deal, we need to see your best possible offer by tomorrow.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House, where the president accuses China of violating terms of a recent agreement to lower the tariffs.
The Chinese side, rather, is now saying that is not true and that instead of reflecting on its own actions, the United States has groundlessly accused China of violating the consensus, a claim that grossly distorts the facts.
The accused attacker in what happened in Boulder, Colorado, is now talking about it.
He said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
Acting U.S. Attorney Bishop Gruel also says he admitted planning it for a year and unable to buy a gun since he's in the U.S. illegally. He used a flamethrower and Molotov cocktails, injuring 12 people.
Some of whom still remain in the hospital this morning. Solomon is facing 16 counts of attempted murder, plus additional charges for using an incendiary device and attempted use of an incendiary device. He is also looking at a federal hate crime charge.
Fox's Alicia Cunha, the attack targeted a group peacefully demonstrating, calling on Hamas to release hostages.